This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review Blue Beetle and the first 3 episodes of Ahsoka. Plus, the Hollywood strikes cause more delays, reactions to Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon and Godzilla -1 trailers, and more, all in this 500th edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, September 4th, 2023.
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh, yeah.
Oh, what's up, listener? How's it hanging? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran, and my voice sounds like shit.
Welcome back, Imran. My name is Anthony. I'm Anthony. Whatever. I don't. You screwed up the intro already. I don't even know what I was supposed to say.
He's the jock, is what I say.
Yeah. And he's back. He's the nerd.
And joining us is someone who has a beetle in his slack hole. It's not a scarab. It's bed bugs, I think. It's Rug Boy. What's up?
I'm the blue-balled beetle.
Blue balls.
500 episodes, motherfucker.
And that is the 500th time I have opened the show.
Oh, shit.
Holy crap. We made it. We're here after much delay. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I made you guys wait.
You certainly did. You certainly did. Wait, we got to ask.
Yeah.
We can kind of hear your voice, but the listener wants to know, are you okay, Imran?
I am okay.
What happened, Imran?
I appreciate all the well wishes. Here's what happened. As you can hear, my voice is like 70% back from a little case of what I like to call viral laryngitis. I think that's the official term. Look, my body's weird. My immune system is weird. This is something, and I think something's going around Chicago because a buddy of mine lost his voice just like this. But if I get like a cold or flu thing, it hits my vocal cords. I don't know. It was like Superman getting hit with kryptonite, I tell you. You know me.
It's because you smoke cigarettes while you're sick.
Look.
That's the reason.
He's been waiting to say that.
Motherfuckers got to do something while they're recovering.
Dude.
Probably.
Come on. 2-week hiatus because it is lame.
Yes, but we're here. We made it to 500. It's going to be a great show. We're going to have some fun. If I don't fucking blow out my vocal cords, but I couldn't wait any longer. I am doing this for the listener. We got to return.
Yeah.
I missed this, but I did kind of enjoy a little bit of a break, but I also missed it just as much. So it's good how you guys doing, fellas? You guys' voice sounds great. God bless.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just missed doing the show. I was like, I had a lot of shit I wanted to say, and I didn't get to say it.
I hope you wrote it down. We're going to say it
Thank God
now.
for this fucking writer strike because nothing's happening. So
it's true.
like,
it was kind of a good time to do this when nothing's coming out. But look, we got a fun show. We got a little bit of news, some trailers. We're going to do some reviews. And you, the listener, have sent in lots of voicemails celebrating our 500th episode. I can't wait for those gifts to be played. I'm going to start with one gift. Our listener, David Ziga, gifted us a suggestion for a new sound clip for the soundboard, and it's fucking brilliant. Here it is.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
I think it's ultimately, we're going to use that so many times. Does anybody know who that is? Have you heard that?
It sounds like an Italian dude.
You're close. I believe it might have been Italian, but it's the Greek soccer coach talking about his soccer team like back in 2014.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
I mean, we can.
Greek, Italian, they're like interchangeable.
Yeah, it's about the same. And I mean, the opportunity to use that clip is going to come up probably several times in this episode. So, yay. Welcome to 500.
It's apropos.
Let's fucking get on with it.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
I know Jose Ibarra has been jonesing for a writer's strike update like Pookie from New Jack City. So I'm going to, that's what he posted in the Facebook group.
Okay.
It was hilarious. I'm going to scratch that itch. Guess what? Hollywood's still on strike.
Oh, shit.
No surprise. The writers now have been on strike for 125 days.
Wow.
Remember the record, 1988, it lasted 154 days. I think they're going to beat that. Actors SAG has been on strike for 52 days. So real quick, not a lot happened. Something did happen and then very quickly went back to both sides not talking.
Well, I heard that they came back with an offer for the actors and the writers.
For the writers.
Was like, yeah, for the writers especially. They came out with but it was so vague that they were like, they rejected it because the language that they used didn't like actually promise them anything. It just kind of was very vague, and there were still so many loopholes, and they were like, no, you could totally loophole out of this. So they said no.
So basically, yes, August 11th, AMPTP gives them this proposal, and the writers don't take it. And then they were supposed to negotiate in private. Both sides agreed. The AMPTP releases this fucking thing to the press, a 7-page memo detailing their proposal. And I watched a bunch of videos of guys going through it. And while the producers got a little bit closer, they were giving him some concessions that they weren't at all. The writers are like, look, it's progress. It is not good enough.
You want to know why they did that?
Yeah. Why would you do this?
Because they wanted to put it out there because they started like putting out how much money these writers would be getting.
Right.
And so to the general public who doesn't know, like, you know, like the amount of money that is to be made there, they're going to be like, what the fuck are you complaining about? You're getting paid $10,000 a week.
I mean,
whatever.
Some of it sounds great for like 9 weeks. You can make like $100,000, and they raise the minimums of these things. But Anthony, strategy wise, AMPTP releases it. Is it desperation? Or I feel like they're also trying to jam up the writers in the court of public opinion, saying this is a good deal. Why don't you guys take this?
When you're negotiating, you're not supposed to let everybody know, because let's say writers could be like, well, I'm starving. I'll take the $10,000 a week or whatever. And now you're creating dissension among them.
That's what they wanted. Maybe
that's exactly it. Is they release it because there's only a few people in the room. Not all the writers are privy to every single day's negotiation.
Right.
So if they release it, some writers might be like Rugg said, I'm fucking starving. That looks like a good deal. Why aren't we taking this?
Yeah.
And also, they release it so then they control the narrative, right? They can go and say to the public, look what we're doing. We're doing such good things. Why wouldn't they take something like this? It's all a game. It's all to force the writers to bend to their will.
It had the opposite effect. It got them more jazzed and hyped to stay unified and solidarityfied, whatever the word is.
Solidified.
So, I mean, there's stories of actors having to sell houses, and I think you're right. They wanted to fracture, saying, look, this is a good deal. But they are even more together than ever before. They're not backing down. They're not caving. Both sides are essentially saying the ball is in each other's court right now, and they went back to no talking for 2 weeks, so they can't even get back to the negotiation table as it is. In fact, SAG it's calling for a second strike to go against video game companies for raises in wages and AI protection. So they've authorized a strike to go against video game companies.
Whoa, that's pretty huge too.
Yeah. So it's crazy, but they're by this point in some of the older strikes, like you said, people had started feeling the strain of this and started to fracture. But 125 days in, they're even more fucking tight, not backing out. So that's crazy. So this shit is going to go on. Labor Day is today. We'll see if anything happens. It's next year. I don't know. It's going on forever. Ruggs, there has been some delays. They've delayed Dune Part 2.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Warner Brothers
I was
flinches.
looking forward to that.
It was supposed to come out November 2nd this year. It's being pushed to March 15th, 2024.
God damn it.
That's
I think they moved Godzilla too, didn't they?
Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, moved back 1 month to April 12th, 2024.
Because I think Dune took its slot.
I think so.
Yeah.
And the Lord of the Rings animated movie. On the Marvel side, the Marvel Studios hasn't moved any of their movies. They have shuffled around some of their TV shows. Did you guys hear about this?
No. Let's hear it. Let's just cake your voice. Or let's just take everything out right now in the news section.
We'll do that. Okay, look, real quick.
I want your voice gone.
God damn it!
Recap it.
That means you're gonna have to talk about Ahsoka, and I know how you love Star Wars, so that's gonna be great. Loki season 2 is the only thing That's going to premiere live action still October 6th.
Okay, because that's probably been done.
Yes. What if season 2 is now coming around Christmas of this year? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Echo, that was originally supposed to come out November 29th. All the episodes they were going to drop in that crazy strategy is now got pushed to January 2024.
Okay.
The Agatha show gets another retitling and moves. It was first Agatha House of Harkness, then it became Agatha Coven of Chaos. It is now Agatha Darkhold Diaries, and that got moved to October 2024.
No matter what you name, it's still going to suck.
It's still, why are you making this? Yes, X-Men 97 never had a date, but they're saying it'll be early 2024 for that. Ironheart has been taken off the calendar altogether.
And so did Daredevil, too.
Daredevil Born Again and Wonder Man are in limbo because they started shooting and they had to stop, of course. So the big thing is we're still getting Loki. Everything else is pushed. Is this a good thing? He wanted to slow things down. Bob Iger. This is definitely going to slow things down.
I mean, everybody's going through this.
Yeah.
It's not just Marvel. This strike is going to have like effects throughout the whole entire industry, and Disney's not going to be kept from this. Like there's no way around it. So yeah, like this is to be expected. You can't promote movies. You got things. Obviously, there's some things that they're doing that just look bad, like these premieres for these shows that could have come out or not coming out. I guess there's no reason to not come out. They don't really promote these things as much as you think,
right?
Like a movie, like because they put them on streaming. So the streaming stuff is like a little bit weird that they're like not putting out content, but the movies I totally understand. Like they have to like put a movie out so they could promote it.
Yeah. Also, I mean, as Ruggs mentioned, the strike is just hitting everybody. But I also think with Iger back, they've definitely wanted to now slow down. They were greenlighting everything, and they've realized that these TV shows just aren't doing it, and they're not money makers they're not doing anything for Marvel, really.
Well, Disney's doing terrible stock wise.
Yeah, so just slowing these down is probably best in terms of just the overall Marvel brand to make these things anything they release feel a little bit more special. So yeah, I think this is a combination of the strike and also the fact that the Phase 4 strategy was not working for them.
I feel like this is actually good for Disney.
They're probably saving a little bit of money here too, spreading these things out and giving I think it needs room to breathe. Some of it needs a break
because everyone's doing bad. It's not just them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they can you got some kind of like armor now to like, oh, they blame the strike. We couldn't promote it. You this and that. Like every excuse you can to like put a spin that the company's doing well. So when their investors are like, why is everything sucking from you guys? And like, oh, it was the strike. We couldn't promote it.
Yeah, I think some of these studios are going to spin that and probably are enjoying the break in the spending since everybody's hurting. So all we're getting this year, the remaining of this year, we'll get Loki season 2 in October, the Marvels still in November. And then what if season 2, do you think they pushed the Marvels? They just put out another trailer where they literally are like explaining where each character comes from. Did you see that one?
No, I did not.
Oh my God. They showed clips of Captain Marvel. Then they showed clips of WandaVision for Monica. Then they showed clips of Miss Marvel, the TV show, and kind of, padding it out. The YouTube comments for that trailer are hilarious. This movie's becoming a joke a little bit. It is YouTube, but they were brutal.
Well, listen, this movie's been doomed from the get-go.
Right?
There was no way that once they, like, everything that's happened to this movie has been terrible. Like, everything. Like, the thing with Brie Larson now, like, getting shoved into, like, this with two other people in their movie, like, taking the spotlight, and that whole thing, and how it's not a Captain Marvel movie, it's the Marvels, and then you got a bunch of characters from other shows the shows that they were in. Like, I think WandaVision was the higher watch show. So, like, I think Monica Rambeau or whatever her name is, Photon might be okay.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, the Marvels, Miss Marvel was one of the lowest watched shows.
Right.
So that's not good.
Well, will this help? The runtime for the movie came out. This movie is going to be 1 hour and 38 minutes, making it possibly one of the shortest fucking MCU movies ever. Now, we've all been complaining about how movies getting too long. This movie has a lot to do, though. It's got a lot to set up. Do you think they cut out? Obviously, they cut out a bunch of things.
Well,
do you think this could help this movie or hurt it? That short runtime. It's like
there's
90
nothing
minutes.
worse than there's shitty movies and there's long shitty movies.
Right.
I think the long shitty movie is worse. So yeah, it's better.
Yeah, I mean, it does scream that they probably cut out a lot of stuff, but hey, maybe they looked at what they got and they said, maybe we're not going to. A lot of Marvel movies are accused of dragging things out and putting stuffing too much in.
Yeah.
So maybe they looked at it and said, we don't have enough for a 2-hour movie.
It could be a marketing thing. It could be like a strategic thing. Like you can get more movies per day if you just cut it as small as possible.
Yeah,
so you can get like 10 showings a day. So maybe that first day there's enough showings where they can make a nice number.
I don't know. It makes me nervous a little bit. When's the last time we had like a 90-minute Marvel movie? And
you haven't.
And can you? They do shove a lot of things in, but they got a lot to deal with in this fucking space, and they're jumping places, and then there's bad guy, and that makes me nervous. Like, I don't know. This thing I read there was a rumor that Nova was supposed to be introduced and then killed, and they cut all that out. So maybe they're trimming the fat, and it's a quick get in, get out, damage control. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when they cut a movie to be this short that was initially a lot longer, that always is cause for questioning.
That's not good.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, do we know that it was going to be long?
Before?
It's the typical Marvel movie's never under it's always like 2 hours plus, right?
Yeah.
It was like 2 hours
Usually,
and 10 minutes or something. So it's be straight. Like, how long was Captain Marvel?
That's probably
like
2 hours.
Let's see.
I mean, you have 3 main characters in this movie that you got to service and set up in case people haven't watched the TV shows.
Well, maybe they're just going with fuck it. We already set them up.
Yeah, maybe they won't explain it. Yeah,
just jump in. Captain Marvel was 2 hours and 4 minutes.
Over 2 hours, one person. So I feel like this last trailer where they're literally spoon feeding you. Here's this person. Oh, and here's this person from this show. They have like the name of the show in the corner. Go watch it. Maybe they're just like, fuck it. We're gonna expect you to know all this coming in, and we're just gonna go. Which that would be great, but I don't know if that alienates people or people even gonna care. So we'll see.
Well, I feel like the general Marvel, the amount of people that watched WandaVision, like I don't know what the numbers are for WandaVision, but they're pretty high.
Yeah,
that was a highly rated show.
But you got maybe like 1 million people that, if you're lucky, that watched Miss Marvel.
Yeah, then the numbers went down as the shows kept coming out, which is surprising.
So yeah, so if all of those people go.
Everyone,
it'll
just
make $10 million.
When you go see this movie, just turn to the person next to you and explain what's going on. It will all be very helpful. Listener, let us know what you think about the Marvel's runtime. Join this conversation. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation.
Jock and Nerd.
There will be a link in the episode description. It's a closed, exclusive group just for you. Okay, now let's talk about a guy who this clip absolutely applies to.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
It's Zack Snyder. One Zack Snyder. I think the soccer coach summed it up perfectly. He's got a new project coming out Netflix later this year, and it is possibly going to be the most fucking Zack Snyder thing we are ever going to see. It's called Rebel Moon. He put out a long ass trailer, almost 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 42-second trailer. Of course, Zack Snyder put out a 3-minute, 40-second trailer. Who wants to start? Anthony, you just watched this for the first time because I told you to watch it. What do you see in here? What are some takeaways?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot going on, right? I think I saw robots. Thought I saw
there's droids,
space stuff. I thought I saw samurai stuff.
Yep.
I thought I saw. I don't know. I don't remember everything I saw because I saw a lot. There was just. It's in typical Zack Snyder fashion. There's a lot packed into this. It looks. I mean, it does look good in terms of like visually appealing, well cut trailer. Zack Snyder is sometimes a good, sometimes a shit.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
There you go. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that he cut a 4 minute, almost a 3 minute, 30-second trailer around there seems a little excessive, but Zack Snyder is the king of excess. So, I think you know what you're going to get, right? Like, Zack Snyder is never one for being subtle. If he's going to film something, he's going to put everything he wants to put on screen and make it look as good as possible. And the story might not be the best, but he's going to do his damnedest to shit out everything he wants in his head for that movie. So.
Oh, it is written and directed. He has 2 other people helping him on the screenplay. He did come up with the story, so we all know how that
it's an original story.
It is an original story. This was originally pitched as a adult Star Wars film.
Well, this was his Star Wars pitch.
Yes, in 2012, right after Disney bought Lucasfilm, he pitched this to them as an adult take on doing Star Wars this way. They passed, and then he's like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to do it for Netflix." And I don't know the budget on this thing. It looks huge. Rugs, what are some of the influences you see in this? Call out some movies. There's
oh my god,
every
it's like
science
everything.
fiction movie is in this trailer.
Like everything that's ever come out,
yes,
that he's put it in this movie.
Yes,
I mean, it looks like Star Wars. It looks like Dune. It looks like fucking every other movie. I mean, it looks like Gladiator with the touching of the fucking wheat.
There's a little John Carter. There's a little Lord of the Rings. A little Seven Samurai.
Yeah, it looks just like every fucking movie. Every anime that you've ever seen is very derivative. But I think at this point, right, it's very hard to kind of break away from things. Like you have to like...
It's true.
Like everybody's been kind of turned over in a way. So especially when in the scape of video games. So like all this stuff has been touched upon and it's hard to make anything look new. And I'm not making excuses for Zack Snyder because he's going to do the most obvious shit, right? He's not going to go and do something that's completely out of left field. He's trying to hit these certain archetypes that we're all used to. But visually, it looks great.
It does. It looks fucking dope.
Like, a griffin is a weird choice.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, you got like a John Carter looking dude riding a griffin, but you also have fucking lightsabers and droids. Like, can you even have lightsabers? Like, are you gonna get sued?
I don't think they're fire swords. They're like they don't extend as beams of light. They're swords that heat up.
Okay, because they look like lightsabers.
Yeah, so
but just the fact that there's spaceships and droids, and then these like Harry Potter fucking beasts is wild. It's all over. There's so much.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but you know what? It's like, I hope he does a good job. I hope it's fun, at least.
And there's no way to know if the story is going to be good.
Oh, it's not going to be anything.
Visually,
Imran, lower your expectations. Like,
I mean, it's like about a princess.
When you go see a Michael Bay film, when you go watch a Transformers movie, or anything that Michael Bay does, do you expect it to be good? Like a good writing? No, it's stupid shit. And it's going to be boilerplate, derivative stuff that's going to remind you of a million other things. But you have to be along for the ride. Hopefully the visuals are different. Hopefully the action sequence. Look, when I saw 300,
right?
I read Frank Miller's comic book before 300,
right?
Like way before 300 came out. When I went to see Watchmen, I read the comic book of Watchmen, and so I knew what was going in there. But so when he does things like from good writers, he could add that visual flair and then kind of like take what Frank Miller did in the comic and like bring it to life. And same thing with Watchmen. Like he made Watchmen, I guess, of its time. So visually, I'm saying,
right?
Like he brought Watchmen into like the modern age, right? So like like, you know, the comedian's like uniform and the owl's costume and everything was all updated and it made sense. It was like a translation that was made sense for the comics even. So he has a flair with that. Creating the visual flair, creating like this art directed thing. So like, yeah, his story skills are not that good. Was it the Army of the Dead?
I mean, that was all right, but like
that was like
Sucker Punch. Like that's an original, and so
that's horrible.
I hated
yeah.
Sucker Punch.
So when he let him do, but it looks like Netflix just let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to do here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Sucker Punch visually is cool. It just is. It's the story has no payoff. Like you don't even know what you're watching when you're watching it. It's just all over the place.
This is like Zack Snyder going, "Fuck you, Star Wars. I'm gonna make it adult and dark."
I'm down to watch. It's free. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. So part one, it's 2 parts. This is part one's like 2.5 hours long, called "A Child of Fire." Comes out this December, and then part 2 will come out next April. He has said both movies are going to get a PG-13 cut and an extended R-rated director's cut, which I don't understand. Why don't you just put that out? It's streaming. Why are you making 2 fucking versions? Just put out the R-rated director's cut. Who cares?
He's already. They want to release the Snyder cut.
He's like he's prepared. The fuck.
Yeah, he's trying to recreate the magic of a Snyder cut by just recutting his own movie that doesn't need to be cut.
You can't do that already.
Yeah, like Netflix is not letting you release that.
What that see, that's the thing with Snyder.
Yes, it's a little indulgent.
He creates something where he's doing. His goal is to create an original IP in a universe. He says that, and that's cool. Like there should be original IP in a universe, but then like he takes a step forward, but then he sticks his foot in his mouth and is so self-indulgent that he's going to make an R-rated cut, director's cut of a movie that hasn't come out yet. That he has free reign to do whatever he wants.
I know. What is
the point of that?
Why are you making 2? Just do the one version.
If he can just like stop. He just needs someone to check him sometimes. Just like, hey man, you're awesome at like making things really look good on screen, but sometimes you just need to be wheeled back in. And that's not uncommon for directors. Like, if you look at a shit ton of directors that like do well with their own movie and direct a movie, but then they're like, okay, now I'm going to write my own movie and direct it.
Yeah.
Writers, like, they're not always the best at doing that shit. And he's not either.
So hopefully these other 2 writers, kind of maybe help tell
or just Netflix just goes, hey, release the R-rated cut or just release the best cut. How about that? How about instead of doing 2 cuts where you get 2 cracks at it, release the one that's the best one. How about that?
Yeah, don't give me a neutered PG-13 thing. It does look like it has the potential to build a crazy IP in a whole world.
I know why that they're doing the PG-13 thing. They want to get the views so they can brag about it.
Yeah. I mean that's a good point.
They'll brag about getting this will get X amount of views when they'll just combine the 2 movie views, even though people probably watched it twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he was trying to build the army of the whatever the fuck it was. Dawn.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a little. It had a little spin-off thing, so he was trying to do it there.
I think,
he just wants to.
He wants to be George Lucas. He wants to have his own IP.
I was just going to say he wants to be like he's still very obsessed with being part of pop culture, and in some ways that's like good, right? But it's like
I don't begrudge him that. It just has to be better than he is,
right?
That's the thing. He said, it was inspired by Seven Samurai, which also Star Wars was inspired by the same thing. So yeah, if you're going to make your Star Wars, that's great, but you got to make it good. And
my theory is, I don't begrudge any kind of director or any kind of creator from creating things. It's just the process in which they do it. Like, for example, like Zack Snyder just like woke up one day, was like, I want to do a Star Wars pitch.
Yeah.
And when it didn't work out and they're like, no, he's like, well, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yes.
And it's like almost like a spite film.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not something that, he's wanted to do his whole life. And he thought about these characters and he was like kind of generating the story out of pure love of like wanting to create something. Like, it has there was a whole focus to it. So it's already coming out of like a disingenuous place.
You can't tell me I can't make a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I'll show
but,
you.
Let's see what happens. Maybe, a spite store might work out.
On the other hand, look, you have that movie coming out, The Creator, by Gareth Edwards.
I love. I'm just looking at the comments.
Yeah, what's down there? Snyder.
The first one that says, "I always wondered what it would look like if every single sci-fi and fantasy genre were combined into one production."
That's exactly what this is. It's every sci-fi thing thrown together.
Let's do that too.
Yeah, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's everything.
Hey, at least you know what? 2-part movie. Maybe he's like spread it out, and it's instead of cracking it all into one and making it a 4-hour movie.
Can we
it's gonna be 20 minutes of slow mo and
what are the chances that this is good? Is there like a
I don't know
1 chance, like 3-1, 4-1?
I'd say there's probably a 38% chance.
Oh, you're going 30? That's generous.
Yeah.
Okay.
38%?
Yeah, I'll give it 30-40%. I mean, as of this trailer, again, it's hard to tell what
you know what? That's better than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this movie, though, is like he actually, if he wanted to be really, really mainstream, and maybe he's not allowed, maybe he just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And maybe like Netflix is the only place that's doing it. But this movie visually looks like it's more apt for a big screen than releasing on Netflix.
And that's the weird thing. It should have an opening. Do you think it'll get an opening?
No, I don't think so. I think it's straight.
Well, I think if Netflix. I think Netflix always does small openings, but it's like a couple theaters in New York or something. I don't know if it'll ever get like a big open, but this seems like ripe for a big screen.
Right?
This is like the first thing that looked like a real movie.
Right. Like, I don't know about. I don't know. I think almost releasing this on Netflix just dilutes any chance of this becoming like a pop culture phenomenon thing.
It's a good point. Other people have tried to do the same thing
Stranger
on
Things
streaming.
has done that,
but that's TV and that's hours of episodes. It's also it's a different beast. But other things have tried though.
Stranger Things doesn't necessarily rely on epic visuals.
Right. TV
this is all true.
This is like his
Rebel
like
Moon.
you said.
This is his baby here. It looks like
it's his Dune. It's his Seven Samurai, Star Wars, everything.
It's everything rolled.
It's right. It's like crazy. You got Star Wars, which was like the brainchild of this dude who was like counter the movie industry.
Yeah,
an independent spirit, and then you had Dune, which was one of the best novels ever written, and like. How's this guy going to compare to
John
both
Carter?
of these things?
There's so much John Carter.
Well, John Carter is the one that started it all, really.
That was what came? Oh, that was before Dune, right? Yeah, Dune was in the 60s.
No, John Carter is like
John Carter was first. Right.
It's super old.
Yeah.
I think Princess of Mars came out in like the 1900s.
Okay, yeah, real early. All right, well, Zack Snyder about to splooge all over Netflix in December.
1912.
1912, John Carter was written? Holy shit.
Yes, that's right.
Let's finish up the news with some Godzilla talk. Anthony, you got to be excited for this one. Why don't you take this one so I can rest my fucking voice?
Well, there's a new Godzilla trailer that just came out. The official trailer, right? Godzilla -1. Which is coming out December. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm just doing this off memory.
In theaters.
Yes, December, you're right.
Nationwide, out there. Here? Out there?
There.
In there. Japan,
I don't know if we got any word if it's coming here.
Okay.
But about a minute and a half. And should I ask myself, what did you think, Anthony?
What did you think?
Well, yeah, what do you think, Anthony?
It looks, here's the thing. In some ways, it's not all that different, other than like it being in the past, being in the 40s. It's kind of the same vibe as Shin Godzilla, in terms of just Godzilla attacking Japan, right?
Yeah.
Right.
In a modern setting.
Yeah.
That being said, there are two things that I do like better already. One, the design, way better. Two, we haven't had a throwback Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
so that's a little
piece.
bit, period piece, excuse me. So that's a little bit more interesting to me. So those two things I am interested in, although the downside for me is, as mentioned, it does seem a little bit similar to Shin in that we're, again, just having Godzilla attack Japan, and Japan's has no interest in making him fight anybody in their movies. I don't know. I don't really understand that.
I have some inside information.
Well, let's hear it.
Do you want spoilers or not?
Oh,
hit the spoilers button. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear spoilers, this is just hearsay, by the way.
Okay.
So it's not confirmed in any way. But I have on multiple sites, multiple videos I've seen, there's a theory going around that there's going to be 2 Godzillas in this.
What?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be interesting. That's an interesting play. There.
And if that's the case, then that's going to distinctly make this movie a brand apart from Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
And that would be awesome because I'm hoping that's true because the trailer's so short.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't want to give away too much. They're not trying to give away a lot, but I think what they're doing is they're going to do, the rumor that I've heard is that the Godzilla that we see is the one that's mutated. And there's going to be another unmutated Godzilla that's going to appear. And from what I've heard is that this Godzilla is more like modeled after either sea life or that. Remember that first version of Godzilla that was in all like the storyboards?
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of like more like a fantastic dragon or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be 2 distinctly different Godzillas. There's one after it's been mutated and like one before. Like,
whoa.
So either I've heard so many different things. I've heard like it's going to be smooth skinned like a porpoise and like kind of almost like a whale or something. And the other ones are like, oh no, it's more like the sketch. I've heard a lot of different things. I don't know if this is all complete bullshit, but if that's true, I'm interested. So that's all I'm saying. And I found that to be very interesting. I don't think they're going to do it because Japan's got it's very reverent to that first film.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, they think because the MonsterVerse is not addressing any of that stuff, that it's their job to do it. Right? So like they're like, while the MonsterVerse took Godzilla and took it away from like World War II and took it away really from being like the event of a nuclear explosion creating this monster. They're like, okay, these are all these things that have been living forever in the middle of the earth. They exist without the nuclear thing. So I think Japan feels like it needs to like double down on it when it makes a movie. So they're kind of like reacting to the MonsterVerse in a lot of ways. But that's just my opinion. I don't know if I'm right about it. What do you think, Anthony?
I think that's a fair. I think that probably is. They're looking at it from the perspective of the MonsterVerse. The American version is really glorifying just like the Godzilla versus aspect, like just throwing monsters, like spamming monsters on screen in fights. And it's not. Other than the first one, which sort of hinted at, but it's not capturing the scariness, the how much fear the Godzilla created and what it really represented back to Japan in those days. So I think that's possible. I think them trying to push the more scary representation of Godzilla, the war, the nuclear, like what that meant. I think that's a fair critique.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this one, I don't know why, but I do like this one more than I like Shin in terms of like just the initial trailers. And maybe it's just because I just hated the Shin design. But I see there's more movement. There's more, it's just faster. I don't know. The Shin design, it was slow. That seemed like those trailers were kind of boring. This one just seems a lot more. There's more there's gravitas. There's things are happening. You're cutting to people.
Dude, he's stepping on them and shit. He's throwing ships. It looks way better than Shin.
Yeah, it just looks good. I don't know. I don't know why.
I feel like Shin is a good movie, and it's not my favorite Godzilla by any means. I do think that this design is the weakest thing about Shin Godzilla is its design and the fact that they relied on like these weird lasers shooting everywhere too much, and instead of actually having a more visceral like movement, like him interacting instead of like something being static and shooting lasers out. With that said, like for that it's probably been a long time coming for them that they wanted to kind of do like a reset, a do-over of that 1954 movie.
Yeah, that's what this seems like. Another first Godzilla movie. Like, new intro.
But they're trying to bring in like a little bit of the high side design, a little bit of like, even some of the legendary cues are in there, in the shape. And there's even like some shots in there, like where you see Godzilla like coming out of smoke. That reminds me of Gareth Edwards' Godzilla, where you see like the profile in the smoke and him swimming under the fucking things. That's like, that's right out of like Godzilla 2014. So I feel like the director is a fan of the MonsterVerse, or at least enough to put some of the visuals in there in that movie. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I mean, hopefully there's a surprise in there, because even if it is just a direct redo as a period piece, I'm still interested in it. Especially if it pans out like exactly like it does, it's either got to be a homage or like a redo of that first movie to kind of like reset it in modern time for the modern audience, or it's got to be a whole other fucking thing with like a versus or some kind of other monster in there, so you can really get the maximum Godzilla-ness out of this movie.
You know what? I'm watching the Shin Godzilla trailer now, and then comparing it to this minus one trailer, which, by the way, is releasing in Japan on November 3rd, and an American release will be on December 1st.
Oh.
But I'm watching these two trailers and the way they're cut, and it reminds me, the Shin Godzilla, even though in the trailer is using the old Godzilla music and has his old roar, the way that movie was filmed was almost like sometimes like documentary style.
Yeah, it was not dynamic at all, just still shots, right?
So documentary and like shots. And like almost like reality show, like them being talking into the camera.
Yeah.
And like cutting to that. And I felt like maybe it was that vibe too, besides the fact that I just didn't like the way Godzilla was designed, but it felt almost too far away from like a cinematic version of Godzilla and more like reality version.
Yeah.
Whereas this, again, I haven't seen the movie, but this seems just filmed like a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is more in line with like how modern movies are made, and then not like so far away from what Godzilla was, which was like obviously man in suit, but like filmed.
Right.
Nothing else was filmed like the way Shin Godzilla was filmed.
Either way, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I am too.
I hope that there's some surprises. I just don't want to be like, oh, that's it. That's basically gonna do, because the problem is that Shin Godzilla was already like a modern updating of Godzilla.
They just did this, so they're doing it again.
Except they did it with Hideaki Anno, and
different
it was a very
filmmaker.
Anno movie.
Yeah.
Like it had a lot of Anno tropes.
Yeah.
It had a lot of like the music in some of Anno's movie, like Evangelion and stuff like that. So, but they did just do a retelling of the origin of Godzilla in Shin Godzilla. They made a new Godzilla and a new ending with, without the oxygen destroyer and all that stuff. So for them to redo it again, I feel like that's just like, I don't know. I mean, they got to come up with something that's as cool as what they used to do in like in the 80s and in the early 90s. Like they got to do something like that.
Why do they keep remaking the first movie?
Yeah. They got to continue this whole Godzilla verse.
Yeah.
Get some aliens going down.
On the legendary US side, there's that Apple TV Plus show that they're working on called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. They did release a quick shot of Godzilla in that one. If you click on that one link, it looks pretty good.
That looks like a Photoshop or something of like.
I mean, it looks like
from them other movies.
Yeah, like Jurassic World, like somebody cut Jurassic World to.
Well, no, they just took Godzilla's head from the movie.
Oh,
and they
you don't think that's real? This is from Apple TV, like the official.
I don't know. I mean,
but you're gonna have Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell playing the same character, an army
US
officer.
agent.
Yeah, U.S. agent. And fucking
where's the shot of Godzilla?
Chris Pratt. It's in the bottom in the tweet from Apple TV.
Oh yeah, that's Godzilla.
Yeah, that's so. But this is about the people and Monarch, and from the American movies in San Francisco. So it takes place in the 50s, and now I guess, and Kurt and Wyatt Russell playing the same character, just younger.
Time jumping.
They're not time jumping. They're playing the same character. It will span generations, and then reveal buried secrets and stuff I wonder how much monsters is going to be.
So Wyatt's going to be playing the young Kurt Russell.
Yeah, so I feel like this probably won't be as monster heavy.
Yeah.
Budget too. Just looking at.
Hey, listen, like
Apple TV
the
makes good
MonsterVerse
shit, though.
can use some good lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to explain a lot of this shit that makes no sense.
Apple TV makes some good shit. So like they'll put out a quality product. I can feel good about that. And
Hey, it's a who would have thought 2023 we're getting Godzilla movies in America, we're getting them in Japan, we're getting streaming
almost 7
It's a good
years
time,
later.
and Gamera's coming out in a couple more days. So
There is no date for this Apple TV show, so it's just some
Wait, Gamera's
pictures.
coming up?
yeah, Netflix is an animated series coming out in like a couple days.
Interesting.
Godzilla.
You didn't see the trailer for that? That's badass. Check that out.
I have to check that out. Yeah.
All right, that's it for the news, everybody. Let us continue. We talked about Zack Snyder's Star Wars. Let's talk about actual Star Wars. Ahsoka has started on Disney Plus, 8-episode series. The first
no
3
music
episodes
in
are out.
between.
I don't. Oh, I could do this, even though it's for another show.
Come on, baby. Do the magic hand thing.
Pretend it's Mando.
There you go.
There.
It just felt weird going from the news into the.
We're doing
without you
Ahsoka
playing
now.
music.
Yeah, we need
We're
we
doing
need like
Star
a
Wars.
we need like a beep boop 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 boop. Like
Yeah,
a
we need some droid noises. What you also need is a spoiler alert. Here it is.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
We're going to talk about the first 3 episodes that are out. The show comes out on Tuesday nights now, as opposed to the Wednesday, like early in the morning. So that's an interesting shift. Of course, following Ahsoka, character created by George Lucas and Dave Filoni for the Clone Wars, originally voiced by Ashley Eckstein. This goes back to 2008. The first Clone Wars film was her first appearance. Ruggs, I'm going to let you start because essentially this show has tons of characters and seems to be a sequel to Star Wars Rebels. They are introducing characters in live action that literally have hundreds of episodes of backstory in animation.
Yeah.
Going into this is a crazy thing for Filoni to try to do. And then I want to know from Anthony, did you find it confusing? Are they doing a good job of taking care of kind of the casual viewer? But Ruggs, tell us a little bit about Ahsoka's journey and to this point.
Yeah, if you ever watched, this spans like a couple of different cartoons. It spans a movie from the Clone Wars, and then the Clone Wars TV show, and then into Rebels. There's an appearance of Ahsoka, and there's a couple of years ago they released the rest of the Clone Wars,
Right.
Where she fights Darth Maul and everything.
Yeah.
So Ahsoka begins as Anakin's Padawan. So Anakin at some point ascends to being a Jedi Master. This is probably right after the Attack of the Clones movie.
Yeah.
Which is the second one in the prequels. And then right before Revenge of the Sith or Return of the Sith, I don't remember the name of the fucking one, but that one's the one where where Anakin becomes Darth Vader. There's this little period of his life that's not been filmed.
Right.
And during this period of his life, he gets a Padawan and trains Ahsoka Tano. And Ahsoka Tano is like, really annoys the shit out of him.
Right.
And she's like precocious. She doesn't listen. And Anakin has to like, you see Anakin's like, he is a great Jedi. He is like patient and he is wise and he does like absorb everything that Obi-Wan taught him, but he still has that kind of a rebellious way about him too, where he just like does his own thing. And Ahsoka kind of like becomes like a great Robin to his Batman. And then, of course, time jumps and then, Anakin becomes Darth Vader. And now Ahsoka is like completely confused. She doesn't know what she should do. She doesn't know, like, she wants to get through to her old master and try and turn him back to the good. And they have various lightsaber battles. And then there's Rebels. And Rebels is about like a bunch of rebels that are kind of like doing their own thing. And they cross paths with Ahsoka a few times. And Sabine is one of those rebels, as is Ezra. Ezra is an actual Jedi. He gets trained by another Jedi.
Right.
And but there are kind of like illusions that he might go to the dark side because there's a few times where Vader tries to turn him.
Oh.
All right. So Vader comes along and tries to get Ezra Bridger, and Ahsoka has to fight Vader and get him away from him and everything. So, or foil his plan. And, anyhow, there's a bad guy named Thrawn that's like another, dude ascending.
Grand Admiral.
Yeah. He's a Grand Admiral. And, Sabine, let's talk about, so Sabine is like a Mandalorian, and she's part of the Rebels crew. And at some point she gets the Darksaber from, Bo-Katan or from some other Mandalorian that had, and it eventually goes to Bo-Katan. Like Sabine gives it to Bo-Katan, but, she goes under training with Ahsoka to become a Jedi. And, she doesn't really exhibit any kind of Jedi power. She just, I guess, wants to learn how to use the Darksaber. But whatever. The point is like, there's a lot of going on before you even hit the ground with this show.
Yeah, there's so much lore and mythology already.
So what happens at the very end of Rebels is Ezra Bridger is trying to stop Admiral Thrawn, and there's these whales that could travel. Like they could warp through the galaxy. They're like warp whales or something. I don't know what they're called.
The Purgle.
And he uses the warp whales to kind of like basically like warp Thrawn out of existence, and he falls with him.
Right. Somewhere distant.
So like he's been disappeared with Thrawn. So Thrawn's like basically been warped out of existence to like somewhere so far away that they'll never find him. And so this story picks up with Ahsoka finding out that Admiral Thrawn's still around, and that if they're looking for Thrawn, they're going to try and find Ezra too. But they don't do anything to establish Ezra Miller in this show.
Ezra Miller,
or Thrawn.
Ezra Bridger.
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller's in this? Oh boy.
Oh jeez.
Well, yeah, the Flash is in the show.
The Flash vibrates.
Ezra Bridger in the show.
Right. You see a little hologram of him. So
that's it.
So
yeah, it kind of like, without that, the show becomes, you can't really latch onto it because there is a lot of like emotional conflict or emotional things happening, but they have no weight because you don't know the relationship that Ezra has with Sabine. You don't know the relationship that Ezra has with Ahsoka Tano. You don't know the interplay between Thrawn. Like all of this stuff is not even like
Hera Syndulla and Sabine and Ahsoka. Yeah. It's been years since they've seen each other.
So they need a flashback with Ezra in it. That's what the show needs more than anything.
Okay.
Other than that, the show, the characters are fine. They're just they do a lot of standing around with their arms crossed a lot.
Ahsoka does that all the time. She'll just give you
not
the look.
Talking.
Yeah. She's just staying there, arms crossed. Yeah.
But I don't hate the show. I just feel like that it's there for Dave Filoni to try and graduate to another, because the cartoons are the cartoons,
right?
Like you don't have high expectations for a Star Wars cartoon, like as much as you do with the movies. Like it's just like it's a different medium,
right?
You can get away with a lot more stuff. You can't treat it the same way, and he's treating it kind of like with the same level of stupidity as you would a cartoon.
So? Interesting. Yeah. So, Anthony, look, I know. Let me ask you. We've dragged you through the Star Wars journey. You've met Ahsoka in live action in The Mandalorian. Some of that plays into here. I forced you to watch this.
You did.
What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Were you able to follow it? Was it confusing or not?
Being completely frank, I watched 3 episodes and I don't have any recollection of anything.
What
I
is
watched.
happening in this show? You don't know?
I didn't really understand what was going on, and I just checked out while I was watching it. So,
oh shit!
I can see that.
I think part of it probably has to do with the fact that now that Rug Boy is bringing all this stuff up, is that like I just didn't understand what was going on.
Right.
Like I don't have any history with any of these characters.
Yeah,
I don't really care about any of these characters.
Yeah.
They're really banking on the fact that I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan.
A little bit, yeah.
To enjoy this.
You have to watch hundreds of episodes of shit to enjoy it.
And I'm not. And Imran, your voice must be perfect now. You're just talking all the time.
Sorry.
Go
ahead.
I thought you needed to rest that voice, you son of a bitch.
I do.
He's gonna cut you off. He's doing it for 500 episodes.
It's been 2 weeks, and he's been waiting to do this
Come on,
for a while.
it's 500. I got to do it a couple of times.
Your voice sounds fine, by the way, so that's good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think this show is watching this show is basically pushing you to go watch Rebels, which I have no desire to do. So yeah, I mentally checked out of the first episode, and then I sat through 2 more with like the most blah like look on my face, as if like I didn't know what I was watching, because I didn't. And yeah, I mean, there was some space battles. There was Ahsoka talking to Sabine, and Sabine like being a rebel to her, and then wanting to work with her, and then they keep talking about Ezra, and
yeah,
all I think about when they bring up Ezra is one, either Ezra Miller, or two, Ezra doing the voice thing for us. That actor playing it. So
I'll have to play that for this one, or better than Ezra. They were a great 90s
like I don't
band.
know who Thrawn is.
He's a blue guy. He's blue.
There's these ladies that are. There's what's his name? Ray Stevenson. He's intimidating.
He's badass.
And there's these other ladies that I don't really know about. So yeah, I legitimately could not even give you a review of the show because I like so checked out of it off the bat that I literally, if you make me watch the rest of this, it's gonna be exactly like this the entire way.
Oh shit! They may. Okay, look. Okay,
See, I did the homework, so I'm all in on this show. I don't like it, but I'm all in on it, like because I like these characters from the other shows. So like I want to see what happens as a completist to see what happens in the story. Now, I have a lot of criticisms on this thing.
All right.
I just think the writing is too much like cartoon writing.
Some of it's silly. Some of it is silly.
Yeah, because like a lot of things that happen in this show would not happen. Like just it's sheerly cartoony that Chopper would just in space throw something on a ship.
Chopper's great though. Come on, he's hilarious.
He could have like shot it.
I thought he was going to shoot it out of a cannon. Yeah, he just spins and throws it. He's like, "Have you been going through my shit?" You don't think Ahsoka will go out on the wing of a spaceship and
no? That's overtly cartoony.
Let me. That now that you bring that up, that one I was like,
"What is happening?
Stop it!" There's no way even a Jedi can get on the wing of a moving plane on space, and that plane going at her's got to be going 300 miles an hour. There's no freaking way.
No, they were dead in the water. They weren't moving. But then the other 2 ships, instead of shooting at the ship that is down,
that's
shooting at fucking Ahsoka.
Like, I don't begrudge Ahsoka for using the Force at getting outside of a ship. That's fine. Like, if Princess Leia can fly through the fucking space in The Last Jedi or whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, they do it in Guardians of the Galaxy all the time.
Yeah, but Peter Quill never dies. Yes. He always freezes, but never dies. But it's the fact that the people aren't shooting the ship.
Yeah, the ship is down and out. It's down for the count. Wyatt, just blow it up. I was like, what is happening?
It's way too convenient. Like they should have. Like, they're just doing stuff that in a cartoon would be fine, but in a real show it doesn't work. Like I'll give you the other one. When in the first episode, Ahsoka goes to fucking find the treasure sphere.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Which is like, number one, like if you could have a sphere or some kind of puzzle, let us be along for the ride at least and help you figure it out. But like, it's so abstract and we don't even know anything's going to and then it's like a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah,
and like,
just spin it.
You couldn't figure that out just by playing with it for 5 seconds. Like, I don't know. There's just no like, I didn't feel invested in like the mystery being solved. It could have been fun for me too watching it, but they didn't do
open
that.
The show with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then these fucking robots, they were self-destruct, but they self-destruct for like 30 seconds. Like enough. Like, what's the point of doing a self-destruct if she can run away?
Yeah, it was a big delay and a huge
It's like the
explosion.
most plot, like armor writing ever.
That's good. That's a good point.
And it's just really ridiculous. There's like so many things. Like, I mean, yeah, when the guy like lets the Jedi on the thing and he goes there with like 2 guys with guns and like, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of a captain of a ship is that? Like, he really is an idiot.
I mean, I did like, there's an opening crawl when it starts.
And they have like this is a ship that has like a prisoner on it that like, they're like, you know what I mean? It's not like they're just like, hey, let's just, people just hailing our ship. I'm like, let's go. No, they're carrying like a fucking prisoner. Like, and they just let them on. It's just, come on, like, what is going
That's
on?
Morgan Elsbeth, who's a witch of Dathomir.
Yeah, that's like a Darth Maul relative.
That who's that the lady playing that, Diana Lee Inosanto. That's her father was a student of Bruce Lee.
Yep.
Here, let me ask one question, because this was the one piece of feedback I got from someone that watches Star Wars pretty religiously.
Yeah.
I asked them what they thought, and they went, they were like, the acting's kind of and they said, it's just weird watching these characters that you've grown up with and you heard their voices in Rebels, and now they're being played by live actors and actresses that aren't the same person.
Yeah.
And it's just different. It just feels weird.
So here,
what are your thoughts on that?
Here's what I'll say. I watched
Wait, did you watch Rebels, Imran? Are you going to answer this?
No. I was going to tell you. I've watched some of the Clone Wars. I watched like the first 2 seasons of Rebels. I was aware of these characters. I never finished Rebels. So that's how I was coming in. And I thought they did kind of a decent job. There was a lot of exposition in the first 2 episodes, but they did a decent job of setting up, like they had to set up Sabine, played by Natasha Leopardizzo. You have Mary Elizabeth Winstead playing Harrison Dula. I thought they were pretty cool. I thought they worked as those characters.
I think that all the characters are way too stoic in this show as compared to their counterparts.
Yes.
In the cartoon.
Yeah, especially Ahsoka. She's in the 3rd episode, she's starting to loosen up a little bit. Right. But she's been through a lot though, so she's going to be different.
But still, come on. Like, not every situation. Look, the point is that visually they look great. Like, everybody looks like they're supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Rosario Dawson looks like Ahsoka. I think
she's
that
badass.
She's great. I do think that it's a more buttoned up, not endearing version of the character that we've already known.
Yeah.
So this isn't like, why doesn't she smile more? This is like, why doesn't she act like the character that we already, if you're going to use, like, for it this way, like, if you're doing completely a departure from Rebels, but you're using the lore in your show.
Well, this is Rebels season 5. This is,
you have to have consistency. You know what I mean? So they're not doing that. So it does bother me. But as far as like who's acting like Sabine and I think everybody's fine. They're just too stoic. They're just being directed poorly to represent these characters, or maybe the writing is not the greatest.
Maybe, yeah.
So I think, and Filoni wrote these characters. He knows these characters, but I don't know. Maybe I just think it's when you have something that's a cartoon and you try and bring it up to being a theatrical live action, you have to kind of elevate everything else. And I think that he's just using the same kind of thought process, and it's not as forgiving. It's just not. So,
well, what my friend pointed out too was like, it's a little odd. It's just weird because they brought in the actors that played Bo-Katan.
Right. But nobody else.
But then the rest of these guys are different actors and actresses. And he said it just felt different. It was like, it's going to take me a while to get used to the new people.
Yeah, I can understand that. It doesn't bother me.
See, it didn't bother me because, like, I only know
a lot of these actresses don't look like they're supposed to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it just so happens that Katie Sackhoff looks like Bo-Katan.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It just so happens that, but a lot of these actors don't look the part. So
it works
it's like,
for me because I don't really have too much connection with them in animation. So,
like,
they did a lot on Sabine, and she's a badass. That whole speeder scene and the spike scene where she slides under is great. You do get to learn about. I love when she cuts her hair, and that whole moment where she's like, "I'm ready."
Love when she cuts her hair.
Well, it's just a badass thing where she's like, "I'm getting ready to be. I want to be a Padawan." It's a great moment. But there's a lot of callbacks to all the movies, to scenes in Rebels. They're recreating certain scenes. They're doing callbacks to the original trilogy. It felt very OG original trilogy Star Wars. And there's tons of Easter eggs. Ray Stevenson as Balin Skull, and that other girl is Shin Hati. I think they're fucking dope. The lightsaber action is pretty cool. It seems a little stiff at times.
What about that injury that she got? That,
can we talk about this?
Why is this the new TV injury?
Holy shit!
Didn't the other Sith Lord from Obi-Wan get the same?
Yes.
Yep.
For some reason, they do the fake out Sabine death at the end of the first episode. Now, I would have thought a lightsaber through the gut would kill one person. would that you'd be done. That's it.
Just only if you're like 7 foot tall Liam Neeson.
Yeah, only if you're Qui-Gon's over there going,
like one of the most
bro, what the fuck?
badass Jedis of all time that can probably use the Force to like stop the injury. But
yeah, it's very inconsistent.
Sabine, who doesn't even wield the Force. No.
So is this the? Okay, well, I'll just call it out. You've hinted at it. Is this the woke way of making a female strong? Is this,
oh shit?
She can take a lightsaber through the chest.
I don't think, I mean, like, if you want to frame it that way, you can do it. But I just think it's just one of those things where, like, this is a Kathleen Kennedy world where, like, in Star Wars, you don't die from lightsabers going through you anymore.
What the fuck? That's some bullshit.
Well, you do if you're a bad woman, not if you're a good woman.
But, like, look, let's talk about this. So Darth Maul was sliced in half and he's still alive.
He survived.
That's true.
Yeah.
But he used the Force.
Right. She can't even use the Force.
So Sabine can't even move a cup.
She can't move the cup. That was hilarious.
All right. Yeah. So like there's no and not only that, but like Darth Maul's not like a regular human being or a human. He's a different kind of thing. So maybe his internal organs are I don't know. There's a lot more wiggle room there. But there's no reason. Like, I just say, just use a different blow. Just don't, like, maybe just do, like, you know, it goes into your arm a little bit or something, or, you know, or into your side, not through you.
Or she gets sliced, but she's wearing armor, so, like, it's just like a deep cut or something like that.
Like, why are they doing, like, these things that are very just unnecessarily stupid? Like, I just don't get it. It's just, I feel like it's lazy.
Well, I'm curious. I mean, you obviously do. You guys, I don't know what's the like general opinion on Ahsoka. Are people liking it?
Look, it depends on who you ask. If you ask like people who hate woke stuff and that want to hate stuff just because there's a lot of women in the show, it's the worst show ever made.
Okay,
it's got strong female lead cast here.
Females,
strong, all of them.
If you ask someone who has never seen any fucking Star Wars cartoons,
is
interested, they're gonna be like kind of milquetoast on it. They're gonna be like, confused. It's not bad, but like I'm not really into it.
Right?
They're not gonna have any glaring like, oh, this is complete shit.
That's me.
They're just gonna be like, it's not grabbing me, and the reason is because you're missing like the main driving thing is like, who is Thrawn, who is Ezra? It's not a mystery to us,
right?
So like the people who watch the shows. So like we can at least bridge a lot of those gaps.
Yeah, I can't.
So, and then the people who really like the cartoons are probably more forgiving. But still, there's two types of people. There's two types of fans. There's the ones that will just take anything and just love it. Like is like gonna be an apologist for like crappy shit. And then there's gonna be fans who want the most, like who want high level stuff, who want the bar to be raised when they want their expectations exceeded, not subverted. And that's me. And even though I do like a lot of it, I don't love it because I feel like it's insulting sometimes writing.
See, I would have thought you would have been into the continuation of the Rebels storyline.
I am.
You know,
I just don't like the way it's being done.
By the way, 87% on Rotten Tomatoes so far.
Okay.
Tomato meter. So, but I'm like in the middle. Like I'm enjoying it so far. I'm willing to see where it goes, but I don't have like, I just watched a couple of things Rebels. It did actually make me go watch a video that was like Rebels recapped in 30 minutes. And I watched the whole thing just to get caught up. But there is a little bit of homework they want you to do here. The exciting thing is this galaxy, in a galaxy far, far away, we are going to be introduced to yet another whole fucking galaxy. It looks like where Thrawn is. That's kind of exciting. And seeing Sabine, what happens with her Jedi training, I'm into that. Does she go to the dark side? Who is this Sith Inquisitor that they keep fighting? There's been speculation that that's Ezra or that's the Star Killer dude. Would it be weird?
Oh, you talk about Marok?
Marok. Who is this dude that keeps showing up? Hasn't taken his mask off.
There's rumors. It's like they're trying to pull. Like if they do a Taskmaster and it's a woman.
Whoa.
That's lame.
Who's that? Who could it be though? somebody else?
It's got to be Ezra.
But that doesn't make sense. It's Ezra that he's back if they're looking for him, and Thrawn's not back, but he's back, or maybe Thrawn turned him.
Hopefully he's just Marok, and that's who he is.
What if Thrawn turned him and made him evil?
Yeah. Marok is, there's been people saying that it's Star Killer.
Right, that's
which
the other
is
thing.
from the video games.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Star Killer is, he's a kid that Darth Vader trained when he was, so this would be cool because now there's another theory that I have, but so think about this. But they haven't done any of the groundwork for this, which is fucking terrible.
Right.
But if they did this right, it would be awesome. But Darth Vader, when he was Anakin, trained Ahsoka, right?
Right.
And that was his train. And then he also, after Ahsoka, after he became Darth Vader, he took on a secret apprentice named Star Killer.
Oh.
And this dude is a badass. In fact, Darth Vader was trying to actually take over, kill the Emperor, right? But the Emperor got wind of it, so Darth Vader had to kill him, Star Killer.
Oh shit.
And whatever. So he had to pretend to kill him and actually whisk him away, and so he disappeared and shit. So that it could be Star Killer.
Well,
and that would be both of Darth Vader's trained apprentices fighting each other.
Oh, that would be fucking sick.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
But then there's a third idea.
Oh.
And one of my buddies, who's really a good Star Wars guy, said, what if it's one of the first Knights of Ren?
Well, this series also, I think they're trying to bridge between the original trilogy and the new trilogy. Because you kind of get hints of this republic that has former Imperial and people working there, that it's all kind of fucking clusterfuck, and how it becomes the First Order, which would be, that would be the beginning of the Knights of Ren. That could be interesting. Couple other things I liked. I love David Tennant is the droid, Hu Yang, and I just love how snarky he is, and he keeps telling Sabine that she's just a shitty Jedi. He's like, you're the worst Jedi I've ever seen. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But I mean, the cast is pretty good. I want to see more Ray Stevenson. Rest in peace. But he's fucking badass so far.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh, and the scene where they're flying through the space whales, the dogfight, that was fucking great. I thought that was great. It's very
There's
exciting.
moments that it's really, really cool. It just, that whole, there's been a lot of things that are great. And then all of a sudden, how do you get there is always stupid. When they're in that planet, when they go to check to see if there's any, stuff going on, oh, by the way, the ship's taking off right now.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're well, that's convenient as hell.
No, but Ahsoka's badass. She just fucking jumps out the window. She's like, oh, I'm going to go stop it. She fucking
but
jumps out the window and runs after
you
it.
Get there, you get to places where cool stuff happens, but it always happens in such a weird way that it's just wow, that's okay.
There's always chasing of maps and keys and things and MacGuffins and all Star Wars things.
Yeah.
So that's consistent.
Look, I don't hate it. I just think I wished it was better. That's all.
Dude,
Andor was great.
This is no Andor, but it is, I think, is better maybe than fucking Book of Boba Fett, of course. Maybe even Obi-Wan.
It's still it's on par with Obi-Wan at this point.
Do you think we will actually see Thrawn before the last episode? Does it even get there?
I hope we see him.
Or Ezra.
I hope we see everything. If we don't see either of them, this is going to be a fucking shit show.
Oh, it's 8 episodes. It's more than the 6 that we've gotten.
This show needs, and I can't believe they haven't done it yet. And please let them do it next episode. If they don't do it, they've been needing to do a flashback with Ezra and Thrawn. It needed to happen. I don't know why. How could they do the show without it? It needs it desperately
to fill it in. All right. Well,
everybody's given up on this already.
You think so?
Who doesn't know? Yeah. If in the least, they should have cut together a mini 15-minute episode of the shows to kind of get everyone
like a
up to
recap.
speed.
Yeah, because Morgan Elsbeth we saw in Mandalorian season 2. That's where Ahsoka finds her, and she talks about Thrawn there, and they've dropped hints of Thrawn in Mandalorian with Giancarlo Esposito and that council. But I was like, some of this is going to lose people. They have so much history, these characters.
You lost me.
Yeah. They have so much history. There's so much lore and backstory and they're kind of
there's two sides to that, right? There is the hey, like, so I'll defend it in this sense. It did lose me. So if they're looking to get new fans, not the right show.
Yeah.
But one of Star Wars' biggest problems under the Kathleen Kennedy era is they've been trying to just cater to everybody.
Yeah.
So in some sense, while this isn't hitting Rug Boy on all the notes, at least they're just going with fuck it. We're not going to insult our audience. We're just going to continue a storyline that we have a thread here from another series, and the Star Wars fans that have been following this through thick and thin, maybe they'll appreciate this.
I don't think it's completely insulting. I just feel like it falls short of being good.
There you go.
But I think there's definitely something to watch. Like I know the story, so it's fine for me. But like for someone like Anthony, I know it could be like probably not the most entertaining thing.
Not at all. Actually, not entertaining. But my opinion is so biased that I'm not even going to rate it because it's like I didn't even care.
Yeah, I'm going to make you watch the rest of this because we have to find out what happens after all the 8 episodes. I mean, I thought the 3rd episode got better.
How did the 3rd one end?
It's shorter.
I know. It's only 30 minutes, which was nice.
Which was great.
I could look at my phone for half the time. And
it was mostly action, right? It was mostly that action scene. They find the hyperspace ring, and then they got to fight.
Was that where she used the lightsaber in space?
Yes, that's where she goes out on the ship. That one.
How does it end?
It ends with remember they crash on the planet of the red trees, and they're hiding. And Ray Stevenson comes down, and he's got those killer droids, and it just ends with the shot of him looking out like he's got to find them. So they're looking for them in the forest.
Yeah.
Because they have why are they looking for them?
Because they just want to kill Ahsoka.
Don't they already have
They have the map. They know where to go and how to get there.
Why are they chasing Ahsoka again?
Rex, do you remember why? I think they wanted to kill Ahsoka because I forget.
Because writing, that's why.
Because I forget fucking why.
Yeah, the way we've laid this out, it doesn't make any sense that they would be chasing
They have the map. They know where he is. They have the path. They're building a thing to get there. But there's loose ends. They got to tie up the loose ends. They got to take out Ahsoka so she doesn't stop them. I don't know.
Whatever.
That tracks.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm invested in what happens to Sabine's journey and her training. And does she go what side? Can she use the Force? Will she go dark? I don't know. We'll see. 5 episodes. Anyways.
I'm calling out our redemption.
Yeah. For
like the assistant.
Shin Hati, the blonde girl.
Yeah, I feel like she's gonna end up becoming a good. Yeah, because I'll tell you why. Kathleen Kennedy. Every female character can't be evil.
Well, both of them, even Balin Skull. He's like, should we be doing this? We don't need to do this. Like he's a little hesitant. Meanwhile, Morgan Elsbeth's like, no, get him. There's so many characters and names and things going on.
Yeah, tough for me.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Okay, that's fine. We will check back in 5 weeks, see if Anthony's paid attention. Let's take a break here, play some promos, and we'll come back, and we will review the latest DC movie, Blue Beetle, right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We'll get you back to your regularly scheduled podcast in just a minute. But we wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake on this highly produced advertisement.
That's right. It's the History of Bad Ideas, a.k.a. Hobie. You can find us on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast and on Facebook at the History of Bad Ideas. But if you like a podcast roundtable with 3 to 5 guests, usually every week, depending on sick leave, talking about all things geek, including movies, TV.
I ain't getting paid for this shit.
Blake bitching about something and ranting, and comic books and anything else that we can think of. We have a top 5 list every week, along with a box office news, and somehow we have listeners, so they send us some feedback we answer every week. You can find us on iTunes,
Stitcher,
Facebook,
Spotify,
and any good podcast app, because if you can't find us on that podcast app, it's not a good podcast app.
Damn straight. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Transmission commencing.
This is Wookiee Radio. Translated for the Wookiee impaired. I like that Wookiee. Your hosts, Ken, Derek, and Mike, bring you the latest news and commentary from the far reaches of the galaxy.
Hold it. Hold it. I said hold it.
Subscribe today on iTunes and Stitcher.
I just assumed he's a Wookiee.
Start listening today, and remember,
The Force will be with you, always.
Doc?
and Nerd.
Listener, if you've been enjoying the show, if you've been with us for all 500 or maybe one or maybe half a dozen or the past few years, we're going to actually get some stories about our listeners later. It is a good time to join our Patreon fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. And you can give back 500 times. Come on, $1 a show. It's worth something. You can sign up for monthly or annual support and you get stuff. First of all, I want to say welcome back to John Campbell, who had gone away, but he's this week joined us back on the Patreon.
All right, John.
Thank you, Detective John Kimball.
Thanks.
It's not a tumor. He's back and he's enjoying things like an exclusive podcast feed where the shows come out early. There's bonus content. We do monthly Discord hangouts. My voice going out screwed up so many things. We had a Discord hangout planned for while my voice was out and I had to cancel it. And apparently it was Lisa Morrison's birthday and she was going to be here.
Wow.
So I ruined her birthday.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
Shit.
Ruined Lisa Morrison's birthday. The next one is Thursday, September 21st, 8 p.m. You can hang out with us on Discord. My voice was out for so long that the fucking Flash movie is on HBO Max.
Oh,
think about that. That's how long I was fucking things up with my voice. A lot of fun stuff over there. Really appreciate all the continued support for all these years from our Patreon supporter, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Check it out. Okay, let's talk about another thing that also gets this clip, and that's DCEU movies.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Right? I think that's also appropriate. We will now be reviewing Blue Beetle. Blue Balls Beetle. Here's your spoiler alert.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Prepare to be spoiled!
Oh, this is the third of the 4 remaining lame duck movies DCEU Warner Brothers has
let
left.
me interject there because there's like weird. When I watched this movie 3 months ago,
I can't even remember the movie.
There's this. I was doing some research, and Gunn, and don't quote me, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said this is the first DCU film.
No character.
It's the first DCU character, but not the first DCU
What kind
film.
of fucking sense does that make?
Well,
Okay.
I guess what he's trying to say is if people like him, he's into the DCU. But the first film I'm producing out of the DCU is going to be Superman.
Superman Legacy. Yes. So
maybe it
not
might be a lame
duck.
duck film.
Might not.
Maybe not.
We might see him again. It is the 14th installment in the DCEU. Originally, this one planned to go straight to HBO Max. Now, just Max. And they pivoted. And you get a little bit of sense of that watching this movie. Comic book wise, there have been 3 Blue Beetles since the character's first appearance in 1939 that go by the name Dan Garrett, then Ted Kord, and then Jaime Reyes. This Blue Beetle introduced in 2006. On the Rotten Tomatoes, Blue Beetle right now holding a 78% tomato meter, 6.4 out of 10, 92% audience rating. That 78% makes it 4th highest Rotten Tomatoes DCEU movie, just behind Wonder Woman, The Suicide Squad, Shazam, and then you got Blue Beetle, tied with Birds of Prey.
Okay.
The Fantabulous, Fabulous Emancipation, whatever. Which I thought that was kind of interesting. More numbers. This movie was made for about 120 mil. Continues the trend of these DCU movies not doing well this year. Going back to like last year, opening domestic $25 million. Currently, it just passed in 3 weeks $104 million worldwide. So it's at 58 million domestic, 45 international, which is actually
terrible.
It's terrible, but it's better than the Flash and Shazam 2 we're doing at this point. But it is also the lowest DC opening of the year after Shazam that opened at 30 million and the Flash that opened at 55 million. And if you look at these box office for the last few DCU movies, it is like none of these movies have cracked 400 million domestic or even lifetime outside of like Aquaman. Aquaman didn't even crack 400 million domestic. Like these are
they're not gonna do anything domestic. You kidding me?
So
they did these movies like didn't open it even hitting 100. How are they gonna be able to get
Flash
400?
just finished up. It's on HBO Max. It finished up Lifetime $108 million.
Domestic.
No, total.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wait a minute. No.
Yes.
What
That's
you say?
abysmal.
No. 108 million?
Yeah. Oh, it's 268 worldwide. 108.
Come on.
108 domestic.
108
Okay.
Imran giving out wrong information again.
This is all domestic. But okay, so Shazam finished at 57 million. Black Adam 168. Not bad. The Suicide Squad 55. It's not good.
There was no expectation for this movie to do anything. So
it's true. The fact that it opened number one as Barbie was slowing down in that week, which was kind of surprising. So, the fact that it's 100 million at the global is not bad. I
don't know. Who knows?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
A movie directed by Angel Manuel Soto. I believe that's how you say his name. Written by Gareth Dunet Alcazar, and of course starring Jolo Maridueña, Miguel from Cobra Kai. You have Bruna Marquezine playing Jenny Cord. You got George Lopez as the uncle, Susan Sarandon as Victoria Cord, Adrienne Barraza as the grandmother. Lots of other great actors in here. That's all I'm going to mention right now. But Anthony, do you remember?
Yes.
It's been a few weeks since we saw this. Do you remember what happens in Blue Beetle?
Well, unfortunately, fortunately for me, Blue Beetle has a pretty generic plot. It is about this kid who comes home from college and lives with a poor Latin family in what looks to be the DC equivalent of Florida, Miami.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
And one day he is at a Cord Industries, which is a prominent place in this movie, and he gets stuck with an item that turns him into a superhero. But this item is also very coveted by the evil corporation, and he has to learn how to be a superhero while balancing the keeping his family safe.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of other things, doesn't it?
Right. It's just a generic superhero plot.
Little Iron Man, little Spider-Man, little Miss Marvel,
what's that movie that we reviewed about with the action? A little Venom.
Little Venom.
What was the movie though we reviewed for the action movie?
Oh, Upgrade.
Upgrade.
Yeah,
a very upgrade.
Very upgrade.
Guyver, basically.
Yeah.
Cord is like your Stark Industries of in this movie of this universe. All right. Having said all that, once it was done, what did you think?
Oh, I was. Let me pull up my notes. I was pleasantly surprised. I had very, 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 very low expectations for this. Not saying this is like a revolutionary superhero movie by any means, but it's fun. It is a fun movie. I laughed throughout the movie. I enjoyed some of the fight scenes. I enjoyed the lead. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Xolo Maridueña as Jaime Reyes.
Yeah.
The family, although it's sometimes a bit over the top, I enjoyed them. I enjoyed a lot. I thought the lead girl, Cord's daughter, super smoking hot.
Super cute. Good chemistry between them.
Good chemistry. So they do a lot of the things right to make and the movie just moves. It's like a fast-paced movie.
Well-paced.
It doesn't really... Yeah, it's very well-paced. There's good like synthy music.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good things. The bad things are... It's a very, very generic plot. Susan Sarandon is just absolutely awful.
What is she doing?
Her as the evil villain and like having no motivation, like just being like the mustache twirling villain, except a woman, was just really weird.
I was surprised.
Not weird, just very generic. So in some senses, it's like that kind of doesn't elevate it. It makes this movie more on par with everything. But I think it's just it doesn't really take a ton of risks per se in the plot. But there's like good heart. There's a emotion in the middle with one of the family members dying. So I think overall, I actually was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed the movie. And what it proved to me is that, like, even if the film is pretty generic with a generic villain, if enough elements are working in the right direction, that you can make something that's entertaining.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ruggles, what's your take on this?
Think about it, because it's been like 2 months.
Yeah, I can't really. I don't really remember it. I don't remember what I said.
Our memory fades.
I'm trying to remember what I said in my mini review, even if I did one.
Think about it. It's lots of purple, lots of
synthy blue,
synth music.
Yeah, like I wasn't offended by this movie at all. I wasn't impressed by it either. I thought it was fine. I thought it was just like a blah movie. I think the best thing about it is finally we have a romance in a movie.
Yes.
That chemistry was off the hook.
I haven't, like, regardless if it's a superhero movie or whatever it is, when I watch a movie and I'm like, hey, there's a love interest, I'm like, all of a sudden I'm into this. I'm like, oh, is he going to get the girl or whatever? I'm like, all right, cool. Like, that's a movie.
Yeah.
All right. There's a movie here somewhere.
It felt
his
throwback.
dad.
Did it not feel like throwback 80s,
Yeah, it
90s?
felt a little bit more like a real movie and not these new kind of fucking fangled movies that suck big dick.
Yeah.
So I kind of was like into it, and I enjoyed it. I just don't think it's like that memorable. Like, one of the things that really bothered me is that alien voice being so like
Kajida.
Yeah, it was just so like.
What'd you say? Kajida?
That's the name.
That's the name of the
name
alien.
of the scare voice.
It didn't. First of all, it didn't seem alien.
Right.
It seemed like a robot and an AI.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it could have been. They could have done something interesting there, but they didn't. There's a lot of things they could have done interesting, and they didn't do anything interesting. I think that was my critique. I wish I could listen to my critique.
No,
I should have.
I largely agree with what you guys say. Is it formulaic? Yes, but I felt it was competent origin story. I had a lot of fun watching it. The family, the Latino flavor and the family stuff really helps, makes it special. And it reminded me of both Shazam and Miss Marvel that way, where the heart and the family really kind of makes it a little bit elevated. Joel Dueña does a great job. I would love to see him again. He is playing him just like fucking Miguel from Cobra Kai, really. But it was great seeing him on the big screen. He's sincere. Like, you buy it, and him having his Uncle Ben moment with his father, like it clicked. That kiss at the end was straight up like from an 80s movie.
Yes.
It was so great. The whole way it ended, that look they gave, that chemistry, you felt the electricity.
Can I interject there? Because Ruggs touched on that, and I forgot that happened, but that, like, when he kisses her at the end and flies with her,
it's great.
I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like movies nowadays, especially superhero films, like don't let women be love interests,
right?
And like, fucking part of life is like dudes want to get the girl,
especially if you're a teenager,
and they want to do what it takes to get the girl.
Yeah,
and you know what, girls like strong men like that.
Yeah.
And he becomes a strong guy that's like a family guy, and he gets her and he flies with her. Like, that was fucking awesome. I was so happy.
He's a hero. He cares about people.
Yeah.
Like he was there for her when she needed him,
Right.
and like
he's got a code, he's got morals.
Helped her get her family's company back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, why would you not? Yeah, I think that's something that's lacking in a lot of the chemistry thing, the whole feeling of a 90s movie or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That really was here. So it has some DNA that's pretty decent,
I mean, Jenny Cord was great, but it's entirely her fault that all this shit happens to fucking Jaime Reyes. Is it not? Like, she just...
Oh, yeah. She's extremely stupid.
She causes them to go
She's
through
extremely
this,
stupid. She gives an alien piece of technology to this random kid she just met in a burger box.
Doesn't tell him what it is. I love the scene where he transforms, all the homages to like the alien face hugger and Venom, and like it's horrific, but also like fun to see him fly out into space and shit.
Right before he's transforming, they pull it out, and George Lopez goes, "Is that the new Tamagotchi?"
That's the new Tamagotchi is a great line. There's some great lines like George Lopez and the Nana. I almost stole the fucking movie. The fact that she was a fucking revolutionary badass. I mean, it's a little hokey and contrived, but I was there because I love that character. She's like, yeah, we're going to go in. We're going to get him. The whole thing about like, we don't cry for your dad yet. And at the end, they were like, okay, now we can cry and mourn him. Like, that got me too. I love the themes of like immigrants and what the stuff they got to go through, and the representation was great. Very culturally specific references that reminded me of Miss Marvel. Now, whether Latin families actually act like that is another thing. Maybe it's a little exaggerated, maybe not. But it knew what it had to do, what it was, and it did it in a nice tight runtime. So I did fun.
Well, actually, it was 2 hours.
What about the grandma with the gun?
The grandma was great. What'd you think of the suit? At times, the suit looked a little cosplay-ish, a little plasticky.
See, I thought it looked good.
But other times, it looked pretty good. It went back and forth.
I liked it. I mean, I liked, again, this is not like treading anything we haven't seen before, but like, I still enjoyed him flying around like he was Iron Man. And there was, the movie's not breaking new ground.
If this movie was a $300 million movie, then I'd be like mad at it. But like, it's very, very lean budget.
It's standalone. They reference. Oh, that's good. They reference the other superheroes just in passing. You have the Batman's fascist line, and there's a lot of Cord, Blue Beetle mythology in there. That's kind of interesting to see if they're going to expand that. You got OMAC. That's another fun thing from the comics, the one-man army corps. But again, he's fighting a guy who's got a suit. But even that, there was a little bit of empathy. There was a little twist. He sees what he's been through, that he's being used. Carpazzo is also being used by Susan Sarandon and lets him live, shows him mercy, and then he goes out. Like, I mean, it's predictable, but it was good. I don't know. I thought
yeah, I mean, I would say Susan Sarandon's whole thing. I was
so mad. I was so mad at her because she's fucking normally good, and it must be the writing. I was like, "What are you doing, Susan Sarandon? What the fuck is this one-note villain shit?"
I don't know. I mean, it could be the writing, but also could be the fact that she was just cashing a check, because it just seemed like every line she spouted. First off, was terrible. Like, not terrible. It was just very generic villain.
Yeah.
But then she just didn't seem like she wanted to be on set.
No, it seemed like she was phoning it in just a little bit. Did anybody else think it's funny how all the white people are racist in this movie? That was kind of
that's standard fare now.
I thought that was kind of funny though. They're like,
who else was? I only know Susan Sarandon in the movie.
No,
was there any other white people?
No, just like wherever they would go, they would think people thought they were the help, and just in general, when the receptionist, and when they worked at the.
I like that they met Ted Cord's daughter, just a Brazilian.
Yeah. I didn't see that coming.
They're just like, well, she's just going to be straight on, full on Brazilian and just not have lost her accent.
Well, we don't know.
She probably grew up in America.
We don't know how she grew up, who the mom is,
That's true. Don't the mom die at a young age? Didn't they say that?
I think so. I forget.
So she was raised by her dad, but has a Brazilian accent? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I like the accent.
I mean, I don't mind because she's hot. And it's like she does do stupid shit.
Yeah.
But then she does they do the best they can within a very generic story to like give her some agency. So she's not like completely damsel in distress.
Yep.
In fact, I don't think they ever put her in a situation where she's completely damsel in distress.
Yeah.
But she had good chemistry with the guy, with the Sholo.
She did. I was like, man, this is all Jenny's fault. The fuck? His dad could still be alive.
It's nice to see an attractive woman be attractive.
Yeah.
Right.
And she wasn't in a bathing suit or anything like that.
No, she didn't need to be.
Yeah, she didn't have the headlights on or anything. She just exuded that kind of attractiveness.
Absolutely.
And that's fine.
I mean, I liked, he's got a little bat cave, Blue Beetle cave. You see his ship. That's also from the comics. It's a lot like the Night Owl ship from The Watchmen, which was based on all these old characters from before DC was even DC Comics. So
there is, you're right though, there is like an 80s, 90s kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, which is great.
If you listen to the soundtrack, it's very synthy.
Oh, speaking of soundtrack, they used the fucking Cypress Hill song in a fight scene. Fuck yeah.
Oh,
I was in.
Well, you knew at that point, if anyone was watching the movie, you knew at that point Imran was in for the movie.
Yeah.
If they throw any sort of needle drop from the 90s.
As soon as that bass line
needle drop, oh god,
dude, that bass line goes doon doon doon. I was like, it ain't going out like that, and they did. We ain't going out. It's a great song.
Which scene was that? I forgot.
That was when everything was red. He was in the red hallway, and he was knocking people out when he was in the tunnel or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember that.
But I was like, oh fuck, I love this.
What
Cypress
song
Hill
was that in?
Cypress Hill. We ain't going out like that.
Yeah.
Going out. It's a good song. Good song. But yeah, I mean,
the movie. Here's the thing: the movie. Is it the greatest movie of all time? No. It's a revolutionary in terms of plot. No. The villain's really one note, but it does have like a certain personality to it that most of the stuff that's come out recently from Marvel and DC is just pretty generic.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty safe.
Yeah.
And in some ways this is very safe, but there's a hat it can hang itself on. It's kind of throwbacky. You have the synthiness, you have the family aspect of it, which like you give a shit about the family. And then it moves. So again, it's like there's not like if they just do check 7 out of the 10 boxes.
Right. They gave it a little something. They went that extra distance to. No, I agree. So at the end, Jenny is now in charge of Cord Industries, and you get that post-credit scene where you hear Ted Kord's voice. He is not dead. The original Blue Beetle's out there.
So just real quick, the original Blue Beetle did not have the scarab?
No.
He had a suit that he made. Like, because he's rich. Yeah, because Cord Industries, he deals with engineering and machines and gadgets.
Uh-huh.
So he's had a suit that he built, and the scarab was always Jaime Reyes.
So, but then why did he just chose like the Blue Beetle moniker?
I don't know, because if you like from Young Justice, I believe, I don't know if it's the same story where the scarab is made by the Reach.
Right.
Possibly. And then I don't know why. That
always confused me that the second Blue Beetle had the scarab, but this guy apparently never had the scarab. Or he did have the scarab and he
I don't know. I don't think, are they related in the comics at all?
No, I don't think
he
so.
He just took the name.
I don't think so. I think he just takes the name. I think it's so, but yeah, I don't know why it has to do with the Cord family.
So he's just like a goofy Batman.
A little bit. Yes. He is absolutely a goofy Batman, a nerd. Right, he's super smart. But the scarab obviously chose this kid for a reason, because he has good heart and stuff. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. So, do you guys now? What you just said in the beginning, Anthony Gunn said this is the first DCU character, and we talked about the money. Would you want to see him back? Do we want him in?
I'm going to go with I do.
Nice.
I do. I would like to see this guy continue.
Me too.
And there was a Screen Crush thing that basically said, make Blue Beetle the Iron Man of the new DCU.
I mean, you can kind of do that and go that way with it.
But yeah, I would like to see him come back. I like the actor. I liked the movie enough. I liked his power set, even though it's very derivative of everything we've seen before.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Right,
I like the actor too. I like that guy.
He is great. I just love watching him. He's very charming. And you just feel this genuine.
He's got a very, I mean, maybe because he's playing the same exact guy, but he does have a very like teenage young vibe.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be
just
like
don't see a lot.
Yeah, in his 20s now, I guess. Yeah, it's like because he just graduated.
22, so a young kid.
Law. Yeah, 22. Yeah, but he's got an earnestness about him. Absolutely, Ruggs. Do you want to see Jolo continue into James Gunn's?
I feel like acting wise and everything, he's fine. Like as a character. His energy's good. I feel like he'd be cool in a team setting, maybe, or whatever. I just don't really like the suit, the way like the AI talks, and just how like generic everything is about this character. Like everything that he does seems like we've seen it before. But like they could, if with some money and like a director that has a vision, they could probably really amp him up and really make him something. So at least you have the character works, right? So that's the important thing.
I mean, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's a lot of fun. And compared to the last few of these DCU movies, I just felt it knew what it was, and it was consistent in its thing, even though it is formulaic.
Well, the movie, what works for this movie is it's not. Unlike the last few DCU movies, like it's not trying to hit a home run. This isn't like gigantic stakes. In fact, it was made to be on HBO Max.
Right.
So it was
there's
made
no
to be
stakes.
Right. Well, not no stakes, but just not world-ending stakes. It's just about this kid that got stuck into this thing that he didn't know. He had no idea he was going to get these powers, but he's just there to protect his family.
Yeah, I like that. I like that it was a very small story that was just about him and his family.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like this new world-ending thing that all the other superheroes would come and worry about.
Right.
Then you'd be asking, why isn't Superman here?
Right, exactly. Because like you look at the Flash, that's about time travel and like freaking the multiverse, and then you look at Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and it's about these like gods trying to freaking take over the world. Or you look at Black Adam, and it's like this god got resurrected.
Ugh.
Like these are all
the same
big,
shit.
gigantic characters about and like the Black Adam's like the devil comes out. Like this is
my
all
god, that third
big
act
things.
in that movie
Oh my
is
God.
fucking ridiculous. What big
this
red
is
fucking
this
thing.
is just this kid trying to get his family out of this like. Well, it's really this family trying to get this kid out of this prison.
Right.
At the end.
Right, because the family comes to help and saves him.
Right.
But like it all of that really worked. Just the stakes and the investment you have in the family. I would love to see the family again. Just like I want to see the Miss Marvel family again. They were really funny. And Lopez had some good lines. And yeah. Well, it's better than the last couple. All right, well look, let's post-mortem this, wrap it up, give it a score and a rating. Where are you gonna put it amongst the 14 DCEU movies, starting with Man of Steel? I'll just read them all. Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, Shazam, Harley Quinn, Wonder Woman 84, The Suicide Squad, Black Adam, Shazam 2, and The Flash. Anthony.
This movie is the epitome of a 7 in my book.
Yeah.
Just a solid movie. Continues the string of good movies that I've seen in the movie theater lately.
Oh, yeah.
Going back to Barbie, Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
And I have it ranked 4th. I have it behind Wonder Woman, Shazam, and The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
If this is a DCEU movie.
Yeah. Well, the movie is. The character, maybe not.
Maybe. We'll see.
Ruggs, what are you going to give it? Where do you put it?
6.5.
Okay.
And it's probably 1, 2, 3, maybe 5th in line to the top.
There you go.
So, yeah. So, I thought it was better than average, and it has something going for it, and I think it's enjoyable. So, I'm sure you could, a random person could go and watch this movie and enjoy it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at these list of movies, and it's just like it's a little bit refreshing from all these. I'll give it a 7.5, and I would absolutely. I did the same you did, Anthony. 4th in line. Wonder Woman is number 1, but that flips for me with The Suicide Squad. I start thinking that's the best fucking thing that they did.
I still like Man of Steel a lot.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways, but.
That is better than The Flash and Shazam 2 and Black Adam.
Oh yeah.
Which was all the other movies that came out this year. So and it's just ironic that like there's one, we got Aquaman left, and they kind of had something here that's just above decent what they could squeeze out, and it kind of works. So yes, let's see more Blue Beetle, James Gunn. And stop talking shit about Tim Burton's Batman. Did you see all that shit?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
What did he say?
Well, that's old.
Yeah,
That's old.
Somebody pulled out tweets from like 10 years ago where he's talking shit about Tim Burton's Batman's movie, how he hated it and it was ridiculous. And
look,
I mean, he had some points in that rant he made, but he deleted all that now.
but those were movies before there was like comic book movies.
Right.
Like there was a lot of sacrifices made so they could get that movie made. So like not like now where you got like $200 million to make a movie.
Right.
And it's now yours to fuck up.
Yeah. That
It's a
Batman
different- it's a whole different
89
animal.
is special. Also, I watched the great Corridor Crew VFX artists react. They did just the Flash movie, and that was great because you see so many floaty heads and necklines, and parts of it, they were like, some of this CGI is amazing, and then the parts where it fucking drops off, the babies was great. They had a whole discussion about babies. That second Barry Allen must have been all digital double. You could see that. I remember you guys mentioned this. Like his head's floating and there's like big heads. Oh, it's crazy. They point out all the fucking weird
it's so
shit.
terrible. Yeah.
It's pretty bad. Has anybody gone to watch it again on HBO Max? No desire?
I was going to pop on the Batman scenes just for fun, but
I already saw it twice. I'm like, do I need to put myself through the third time? I don't know.
no, I would never watch the whole movie. I would just watch a
You
scene.
can just fast forward through it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do some news from the nation, fellas. There we go.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
I got a lot of great comments about episode 500 and our listeners' journey. But before that, I got 2 comments about Blue Beetle. Rugs, will you read these 2 comments from Rick Martinez and Ralph Bravo?
Rick Martinez says the same superhero by the book storyline. He did not care for the entire family to the rescue ending. And may I add that Latino families do not act this way. I give it 2.5 cervezas.
Okay, so he said Latino families do not act this way. All right, read Ralph Bravo's comment.
Okay. I loved it. It did the same superhero story, but added some seasoning to it, some sazon. Not all Latino families act like they do, but mine did.
See, he says his family does act like that.
It hit close to home where I laughed, cheered, and teared a bit. It was nice to have a Chicano superhero that's rooted in what's most first-generation families teach us, that it's all about family. Dom Toretto voice. It's all about family. I give it 4 out of 5 Blue Beetles.
It's a pretty good Vin Diesel you did right there. Do that again.
It's all about family.
So Ralph Bravo, like, look, 2 opposite reactions. I thought that was very interesting. Ralph Bravo loved it, but the first generation immigrant experience is kind of universal to most immigrants. Doesn't matter where you came from. So I appreciated that, and I could vibe with that. Okay, let's move on to comments from episode 500. Anthony, I'm gonna have you read this one from our buddy Logan Janis from Mostly Superheroes podcast.
You don't want me to read the voicemails?
No. Just
no.
you're gonna read.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
You are gonna don't read. I want you to dictate the voicemails. Listen to them and tell me what they say. No, we got some great audio coming up. I got one written comment.
Mostly Superheroes. Imran, Anthony, and Ruggs. Happy 500 from Logan, the Giggler, Scotty Scoop, Danny Patron, Carrie, and the rest of the Mostly Superheroes crew.
Aww.
We literally wouldn't be here without you. Your consistent production of such a high-quality program still amazes me to this day. I always appreciate that special moment when I open up my podcast app to sit down and hang out with you all in an episode. You take the time to make people feel heard, and your camaraderie is contagious and applaudable. There's so many real-life villains out there, and you guys prove that you can be like real-life heroes if you just give a damn and try. We'll look forward to the next 500. Let's all keep jocking and nerding and rugging. Thank you.
Oh, is he listening to this show?
That was nice.
Was
that was nice.
That's very heartfelt.
Is he listening to this show?
Yeah,
is that what you
did he
just
mean our
asked?
show? That's weird.
Oh.
Okay, anyway.
He's just talking about another show.
Yes.
You tell
You're
us
right.
this show?
Hey, making podcasts is hard. Everybody.
That was very nice. And we got a lot more. Okay, here we go. We're going to the
This is where we're going to start to just jack off all over ourselves, right?
Listen, it's 500.
Hold on, let me get the cream out.
Get your tissues, get the lube. We're going to do a little masturbation. It's episode 500. We did put out a call for voicemails. I got a bunch of voicemails. Let's start with Brian Goff. This is not Matt Delhauer, by the way. Just remember that.
Imran, Anthony, Rug Boy, what the fuck is up, guys? This is Brian Goff over from Citizens of Pawnee Podcast. I just want to congratulate you, obviously, on 500 episodes. That is incredible. I remember the 300th episode where we all got to call in and roast you guys. Well, that's not the case this time. I actually have nice things to say. Yeah, you guys, whether or not you know it, everything you do for the fans, both Patreon and non-Patreon, is just incredible. You guys put out a consistent, funny show every week, very informative. You guys do a great job, and we can't thank you enough. I just want to make sure that no one ever forgets that Imran and David Beckham are the same age. Take care, guys.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, wow.
You have to bring that up, Brian Goff. Not Matt Delhauer. How is that not Matt Delhauer, first of all?
But just, for the fans that don't know what Imran looks like, just take a peek at our website real quick and just look at what that man looks like and just think about the fact that he's the same age.
Whenever I picture Imran in my mind, I picture like a nice, firm 25-year-old Imran.
Oh, no.
You're holding on.
That's been a long time.
Yeah, you're holding on to that memory.
That's long time in years and much longer in the amount of shit he's done to his body.
I am in the same in age as David Beckham, and that's about where the similarities end. All right, moving on.
You think David Beckham will lose his voice for 3 weeks?
Oh, I'm sure he would, and he'd come back for the fans, and he'd still play.
Yes.
We got Seth Morgan next.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Imran, Tony, and Rug Boy. This is Seth Morgan. one of your biggest fans. Just wanted to congratulate you guys on 500 shows. Quite a milestone for you. It's been wonderful to laugh along with you guys, learn a lot, and watch your growth.
I'm growing.
The show has only gotten funnier over the years. It's been great to watch Anthony just become, a man, such an enjoyable cinephile over the years. When you guys first started, he didn't know a lot. I think he'd admit to that. And as time has gone on, and I don't know how many movies he's gotten a chance to watch and dissect and review, and it's interesting to listen to his perspective on things as the show has continued to grow. You guys are fantastic. Love everything you do, and I wish you another 500 shows in the future. All right? Bless you. Take care.
I never thought about that way, Seth. That's very, very interesting that you see Anthony's story arc.
The growth, yes. Yeah. There's a story arc in Roman Paul Anthony.
Well, when did we start? 2017?
2015.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was 27 years old.
We have exposed you to
not
so
one
much
gray
shit.
hair on his nutsack. Yeah. Not one.
He was young and supple 8+ years ago. But it's true. Like, Anthony has been exposed to so many things now.
Yeah. All because of the show.
Yeah. Would never have happened. Okay. We got the Speak Pipe King, Matt Miller. Of course, he sent in 2 Speak Pipes. Of course.
2?
Of course he did.
Of course, Matt.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation?
Ooh.
Fellas. It's your boy, the Speak Pipe King, Matty Miller. I just got done listening to Anthony's sad message, and my mind immediately went to, hey, I should take over this IP for myself and actually make this show, popular. So here's my idea. The show's going to be called the Rock and Nerd Podcast, where I'm the nerd, and I find just a regular rock to be my co-host. And instead of Rug Boy, I have Carpet Girl. Do you get it? Carpet Girl, Rug Boy. And instead of a foul-mouthed New York-based puppet, she's a prim and proper Carpet Girl from New Jersey. I'm still working out the kinks on that, but I think it could really take off.
From New Jersey?
Anyways, congratulations on the 500th show. That's awesome. I looked back at when I started listening to the show, and it was on episode 81, and 4 of you.
Wow.
So it's been a fun ride, and I hope you guys keep going for a long, long time. Yeah. If you need me ever for a takeover, let me know, okay? See you guys.
Okay, wait, there's one more.
He had to do another one.
Yeah, P.S. The whole crux of my Rock and Nerd podcast show hinges on the fact that people think that The Rock in my show is Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yes, that's what I thought you was going with that.
Without that, I have nothing. You guys are the best. Keep going. I gotta go call Dwayne real quick and see if he's on board. So, okay, see you guys.
Here's what I think about that idea.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
That's what I think.
All right, yeah, that's a perfect drop for that.
Okay, moving on. We got our boy Gerald Morris from the 2 Piece Podcast.
Dude, Jock and Nerd 500 episodes. WTF. This is Gerald from 2Ps. I've had all 3 of you guys on my show. We've been pod friends for several years, and you guys are an inspiration, even though the fatigue for superhero movies is real for me. I do not have fatigue for the Jock and Nerd and Rug Boy weekly. You guys are an inspiration. I just wanted to say congrats on 500 episodes. Can't wait to tune in to 500 more.
Oh, that's nice.
We aim to inspire. That's why we
you think
started
we're going
this
to make
show.
it to 1,000? I don't know.
Not if Imran keeps smoking while he's sick.
It's fine. My voice is fine. It's back 70%.
I think I heard you just take a puff earlier.
Yeah. I probably did.
He's getting too confident now. He's like, I made it halfway through the show.
He's like, I can talk for 2 hours without losing my voice. I'm back.
He's like the guy baby. He's like the guy that's on a diet that ate salad for lunch, and then he goes home and eats a fucking sundae.
I like turtles.
Well, I ate a salad.
What about that superhero fatigue? I mean, this is what our show is based on. Is this?
We can pivot. We'll do cinephile stuff.
We've been pivoting. We've been doing the action stuff.
I love it.
We do the Patreon listener recommendations. This show is more than just the superhero stuff.
It is.
Bro.
It was the catch to come in, but doing the action movie stuff has been great. Gerald Morris also kind of retooled his show, guys. I don't know if you heard. It used to be top 5 things.
Mm-hmm.
He now has a co-host, and they're just like reviewing movies. He's got a regular co-host.
Interesting.
Oh, cool.
Which is good because eventually, I think he did every top 5 list that you can come up with. So.
Now do a topless 5.
Yeah, topless 5. There's your new show, Gerald Morris. Okay,
Imran, throw your tits in there.
I'll take my shirt off for that. Jimmy the Geek Graven, here he is.
Hey, what's up, Patreon? This is my instant reaction to the 500th episode of the Jock and Nerd podcast. Sorry, I had to do a little homage to the boys right there. This is Jimmy the Geek, longtime supporter and listener of the Jock and Nerd podcast. I've actually been listening to this show for almost exactly 7 years, which is insane. I don't think I've followed anything or listened to anything that long in my life, like a show, anything for that matter. Maybe like a sports team, like a big sports fan, as Anthony knows. But besides that, don't think I've stayed with anything for 7 years. So, wow. Congratulations, guys. I've always been one of your biggest fans. I like to say that I'm the one who coined the term Jock Nerd Nation. I remember I used that on a few fan mails, and Imran actually put it as the Facebook group name. So, thanks, buddy, for that little nod. I always take credit for that. And I'm also a sound drop. Sometimes you still drop that sometimes. Imran, I think you got it right. I think you probably insert right there. I love this movie.
That's it.
So feel like I've definitely been a big part of the show with you guys, and you guys have done a great job, and I've always enjoyed it every week. I literally have listened every week for almost 7 years, which is incredible to think about, but crazy that you guys have been doing this that long and been putting out a show every week. So congratulations, guys. Love the show. You guys are awesome. And like Imran always says, it's kind of weird. Like, we've never actually met in person, but I feel like everyone feels like that about you guys. And you probably feel like that about the group, is like everyone feels like they know each other, but they've never actually met, which is a really cool thing about this group and this show. So keep up the great works. Here's to another 500, and I'll leave it with a Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd. It's true. I do feel like I know all these people in the Facebook group. It's very strange.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right?
Especially with the hangouts that we do.
Yes, then it gets even more personal, and those are so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we got Ralph Bravo. He just commented on Blue Beetle. He sent in a voicemail.
Hey guys, it's Ralph Bravo. Just wanted to congratulate you guys on 500 episodes. Thank you for everything you guys do. Imran, Anthony, Rug Boy, you guys are amazing. Thank you for all the years of laughter. I have to hold it in while I'm at work because people look at me crazy. Thank you, Anthony, for showing emotion. Imran for having hot takes. Rug Boy for having takes I don't agree with, but hey, you're a critic. And, just thank you for everything. And I love the fact that you guys still choose Hard Target over everything.
Fuck yeah. Best movie ever. Hard Target forever, Ralph Bravo.
Well, just a quick preview. Hard Target's going to be in another tournament very soon there, Ralphie.
Oh, it's going to go up against some other John Woo movies. Very exciting. Yeah, I love that he's a big Hard Target fan. Best fucking movie ever.
Everyone should be.
Yes. And now the smooth, buttery voice of Joey Austin.
Hey, all you crazy kids. This is Joey Austin checking in and saying congratulations on 500 episodes. 500 episodes. Do you know how many podcasts are out there with like 3 or 4 episodes and they can't find the time to get together or whatever? Like me.
Yeah.
You are an inspiration to us all.
Wow.
Only missing 3 days out of those 500 episodes.
Well, 4.
So like Imran was sick once.
Twice.
Got caught in the border with those, I just like to say future Americans. And wasn't there a time when, it's weekend. That's when the jock goes to jail. Obviously, I'm making that up. You guys, except for the Tony part, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And Rug Boy,
get some shade.
I don't know anybody else that can speak so eloquently with somebody with their hand up their slack hole.
There you go.
It's hard.
Here's to 500 more. Cheers.
Aw.
Nice.
Man, everybody.
That was nice. That was really nice.
everybody.
They've all been nice.
Using the word inspiration. Here's the last one. Jamie Robinson.
They need other inspirations.
I know. You guys got to get some other heroes. What the fuck?
What's up, Jock and Nerd Podcast? It's your boy, Mr. Throwback Thursday from the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast. Yeah, I wanted to say big ups for me and Bill both for you guys reaching 500. And, you know, I've been around with you guys since, like, the Blab era.
Oh, shit. God.
You know, you, like us, go back to the days where you had to explain to people what a podcast was when you started doing a podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here's hoping that you keep doing it until AI takes over your show and does it for you.
It's already happened.
All right. Just Throwback Thursday. I'll holla.
That's already happened. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
AI would never
That's why I've been showing more emotion, because AI took over me.
AI would never lose its voice. You see how that works. That's how you know I'm real. Anyways, thanks to all those people. Those were amazing. The word inspiration thrown out is going to go to my head now. I'm going to have to forget I heard all that, but that was very nice. And
Imran will never shut up now.
Now I'm never going to shut up. And yeah,
he's never going to stop smoking.
Look, I'm going to lose my voice for 1,000. I will time it just for that. Man, if we do another 500, it's crazy. Okay, let's finish up with what are we watching? We had a 2 weeks break. People watched a lot of things. Anthony, do you have anything to throw into what are we watching?
I should have watched, whatchamacallit? Was it Police Story 2 and 3, but I haven't yet.
Oh, you didn't get to watch this.
I have not. But what I have been watching, they're nothing like no movies, but I've been watching a lot of sneaker videos. I've been watching a lot of complex sneaker shopping with all these different celebrities because
I've seen a couple.
Because I'm getting into sneakers all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Whoa!
So yeah, I've been watching a shit ton of like complex sneaker shopping with like all the different celebrities.
Okay,
like looking at people's closets and shit, and like just a complete rabbit hole down YouTube.
Wow,
yeah, the New Balance thing. Oh no, watch out!
Yeah, so
shoe videos. It's like a fetish. No,
yeah, it's a thing.
It's not a fetish. It's a thing. Sneakerhead thing.
Is this all collectors? Are you gonna start collecting?
I'm like building my collection as we speak. So,
shit!
So if I wasn't paying it during Ahsoka, when you guys were talking about Ahsoka, I was looking at like sneakers.
You're looking at Air Jordans.
I haven't gotten. I like Air Jordans, but right now I started with Air Force Ones. That's my niche.
Okay.
See, like my collection is great because I only have to buy baby shoes.
That's right.
They're not that expensive.
Sometimes they're bronzed, they're pre-bronzed, so they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sneaker videos for Anthony.
Complex sneaker shopping. If you look that up,
Complex is the name of the video.
Well, Complex is a magazine. You've not heard of Complex?
No, it's
Complex
a magazine.
It was a magazine. It's like a fashion, like up and coming, like fashion, hip hop, like culture conglomerate, and they do these sneaker videos where they have Joe LaPuma, and he'll do it with like he's done them with everybody. Like you think of he's done with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ben Affleck, Big Ath, like all these like he has them in the sneaker store. He talks about like their shoe history with them.
Wow.
And then they buy sneakers at the end. And then you see how much they spent.
And how much are they spending?
It depends. Like some are spending like 10, 15 grand. Some are spending a couple, $1,000 or so. Yeah.
All right. No, yeah, I don't know Complex. I used to be into hip hop magazines when there was like The Source and Vibe.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened to those. That was years ago. It was a long time. I don't think they're making them. Rugs, what have you been watching? You watched?
I watched a bunch of shit.
Okay,
but the first thing I did was I watched an Imran recommendation. He kept on telling me about this show, Dave.
Yeah, Lil Dicky.
About Lil Dicky, the rapper. And I was like, you know what? It's got to be at least funny. Let me put it on. And it is funny. As I watched the show, it is good. It's good in a lot of ways, but I can't stand Dave. I really can't stand him.
I don't think you're supposed to like him, though.
Yeah, I fucking hate him. I want him to get beat up.
It's kind of the point. He's,
Yeah. He's super annoying, and he never does anything that makes any kind of sense.
But he always knew what he wanted to do, what he wanted to be for the most.
He just wanted to meet Drake, I think.
He just wanted to be Drake. There's 3 seasons. Did you not think that the season 3 finale was fucking wild? I thought that was great. I don't spoil who's in it. There's a big celebrity.
Oh yeah, there's a big celeb in it. There's a lot of big celebrities in it.
Yeah.
But that's not even my favorite episode.
Yeah, no, it's such a good show.
My favorite episode is not even my favorite. It's the one that like I had to like leave the room for a second while it was going on. Was when he was doing his bromance with Benny Blanco.
Oh yeah. Oh wait.
They're looking at each other's buttholes and stuff.
Did he get gum stuck in there?
Yeah, he gave the guy. He gave him like he's like put his balls on his head and everything in the shower.
And they call each other Chuck. Hey Chuck, what about you, Chuck? Is it Chuck?
It was like
so
dude,
strange.
Anthony, you gotta see this episode. It's so fucking
The
wrong.
show is on Hulu.
All right.
It's brilliant.
All right, so like, the best line in the whole show was Benny Blanco. Benny Blanco, like, he got the best line in the entire 3 seasons. He goes, "Yeah, I know I look like Andre the Giant, and what's the other guy had a kid, and Danny DeVito had a kid."
He does look like that.
He does look exactly like that. He looks exactly like he's got Andre the Giant's head on Danny DeVito's body. Oh my God. He does. I swear to God. But like, it was a very interesting watch.
Oh, and you have what's her name from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. In the 3rd season as his girlfriend. What's her name?
Chloe Bennett.
Chloe Bennett's in it. Yeah, she's great in it. And it's all about like trying to have a music career in this day and age and streaming and how to be different and be yourself. Kind of art. It's just like semi-autobiographical but exaggerated life story.
There's some great moments in it, and there's some weird ass shit in it. And it ends up being entertaining most of the time.
Yeah, good show. What else you got?
So yeah, I was like, I powered through that whole thing. I was like, I watched it like a couple episodes every night. The other thing that I watched was The Doom That Came to Gotham, which is a Elseworlds Batman animated movie about kind of like Gotham by Gaslight, but extended into like H.G. Wells or like or even like H.P. Lovecraft. Sorry, that's what I wanted to say.
Monsters.
Yeah, like Cthulhu and shit like that comes to Gotham. It's pretty crazy.
I watched this also. What did you think? I watched it. It was kind of late. I may have been falling asleep. I couldn't follow. It was confusing. I don't know if I liked it.
I thought it was interesting. I didn't love it. I thought it was like, it could have been way cooler, but like, I felt like just trying to do that, like the Call of Cthulhu in the Batman thing. I'm like, whoa, that's a pretty strong reach there. So, it was interesting. I don't know if I'd recommend it to anyone, but like, if you're a hardcore Batman person or you're a hardcore, H.P. Lovecraft person, maybe you want to check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. I didn't like it.
And you want to know what else I watched?
Yes.
All right. It's something on YouTube you can watch. It's Texas's live event called Kill Tony. Do you know about this, Imran?
Oh, wait. I've heard of Kill Tony. Is this an improv thing?
Kill Tony is a Texas live event.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan is often at it. Basically, this comedian, Tony, I don't know his last name, and he usually has a panel.
Oh, Tony Hinchcliffe and Brian Redband.
Yeah, Brian Redband. And then there's like Joe Rogan and some other guy or some other comedians will be there. Like at random like ones, like Tom Segura or Kurt Metzger or whatever.
Joe DeRosa and other names.
Yeah,
here.
they'll have it. So they all sit on like a little dais, like a panel of 4 or 5 of them.
Okay.
And they let a comic, they have a hat, and they pull out a name out of the hat, and that comic gets a minute to come on stage and do material.
Oh.
And then after that, they just judge him like American Idol.
I've seen clips of this.
Yeah. And sometimes they go back and forth and they like trash each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually pretty funny.
Have you seen the one where the guy is just carrying rocks in his pocket?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not retarded, but I just like rocks. I just like the way they feel.
I've heard of this show. I've heard it's really
it's
good.
actually like some of them are pretty funny.
Live
I just watched the
YouTube
new one
show.
with Post Malone on there.
Nice.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of episodes. 600.
I just like how they feel in my hand.
All right, what else you got?
Did I watch anything else?
Beastie Boys doc on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, you didn't put it in the notes.
I did. It's there. You got to refresh.
I have to refresh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's my fault now. God
it's your
damn it.
fault, you fucker.
I love the Beastie Boys. Do you like the Beastie Boys, Imran?
I love the Beastie Boys. How can you not? Who doesn't? Anthony, do you like the Beastie Boys?
Don't you tell me to smile.
Don't tell her to smile.
That's right. That's the best
No,
line.
I remember being in summer camp in like maybe 11 or 12 or 10, somewhere around 11, 12 years old, 12 probably. And whenever Intergalactic came out, I was like, I need that Beastie Boys CD. One, because I would see them. I liked the song.
Yeah.
And two, because the music video was like a kaiju music video.
Oh yeah, it was like animated-ish.
No, it wasn't animated. It was like
no, it was them like
in like spacesuits.
Oh, right.
Or like in like I forget exactly, but there's like
there's a robot and a monster.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
like the robot's made out of cardboard and shit. It's like low budget.
Yep. So from that point on, I was a Beastie Boys person.
Nice.
I love the Beastie Boys. Yeah. I love the Beastie. I love all the different permutations of the Beastie Boys. I always, because they started out as like this kind of like punk band, then they kind of doing this Run DMC type shit.
Yeah.
Where like they're doing rock samples and singing over it.
They're kind of like a joke band at one point.
Yeah. Then they do Paul's Boutique, and it's like some of the best sampling that and mixing I've ever heard in any kind of hip hop album ever.
Yeah.
And then that's when all of the hip hop community started to like go, whoa, these motherfuckers are like seriously like pushing the envelope of what can be done with sampling. Because the Dust Brothers were involved.
Yeah.
And then they Check Your Head.
Oh, it's a great album.
And they stared playing their own instruments on there. And, oh my God. And then from there on, they just kept on making more and more awesome shit. And then, of course, MCA died.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of refused to go on without him. So that was the end of the legacy. But it was great to hear their story. They did a great job. They definitely, Adam Yao got so much love. And it was a kind of you could tell they were welling up talking about him live on stage. And it was just really touching. And, they're in their 50s now, these guys, but, you could still I always wonder, I'm like, are they they were these characters for such a long time, these like hip hop characters with all this swagger. I'm like, and they don't do that anymore, but do they do that when no one's around? When they're hanging out getting drunk with their friends, are they fucking throwing slang around?
Probably. This doc is great because it's like a stage show that they go through their history, and like some of the stories are fantastic. Like they opened up for Madonna, which is not their crowd, their audience, and people were just throwing shit at them, and they're like, "We're just gonna be assholes. We're gonna be assholes," until the day they were like, "We're tired of being the fight for your right to party asshole boys. We're more than that." And then they evolve, and every album it's classic. Ill Communications, great. That's a great album. But that's a great documentary. It gives you like the whole story.
Like they did one of the best music videos of all time, which is Sabotage.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that.
Yeah.
That was like Spike Jones directed that.
Yeah. With the
so good.
The fucking 70s cop parody.
Yeah.
Beasties are great. Great documentary. All right. I got a bunch of shit. I'm going to fly through this. I was sick. I was watching a lot of things. There's a great superhero TV show. I know Jose Ibarra recommended this like a year ago on Hulu. It's called Extraordinary or Extraordinary. I don't know how you say that word. It is a British show. I think there was like 8 or 10 episodes, and it's about a world where everybody, when you turn 18, you get superpowers. You get random superpowers. The lead is this girl. She's 25. She has not developed any powers yet. So she has to navigate this world where all her friends have superpowers.
So it's Encanto?
Is that what Encanto's about? It's all British. I don't know any of the characters, but it's really funny. Some of the superpowers are ridiculous. There's one dude. He's like this nerdy looking dude, and he has the power to give anyone an orgasm just by touching them. So he's
Anthony.
Yes. No, but he doesn't look like Anthony. He looks like he looks like Napoleon Dynamite. Imagine Napoleon Dynamite give you an orgasm by touching
so it's ironic.
Yes. There's another dude whose ass is a 3D printer. He can shit out anything you want. He's like, "What do you need?" And then he'll pull his pants down and cop a squat, and this 3D printed thing will just come out of his butt.
I gotta see this.
It's really funny. There's some actual useful powers. So it's her trying to like go to this place where it helps you bring your powers out. She's interviewing John. It's really clever. The world building is great, and you could just fly through it. Like they're half-hour episodes. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
That was great. The next thing I want to talk about, this big thing came out on Netflix, One Piece. Rugs. What do you know about One Piece? This is a fucking huge
about
thing.
pirates. It's about pirates. It's about this dude.
Big anime thing.
It's a huge anime. I have not watched the anime. I've watched maybe... I don't know. They have like these movies that come out every once in a while. I've watched one of the movies and just to see the animation.
There's 1,000 episodes of this anime.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what the general story is. I just know that there's his name is what, Luffy, Monkey or something like that.
Monkey D. Luffy, yes.
Yeah, his name is Monkey
D. Luffy, and
he has stretchy powers.
Yes, so
he's a pirate, and he's got his ragtag crew with him, and they're trying to find the One Piece, which is like I don't know, it's a doohickey.
It's this old pirate's treasure that has been hidden on the Grand Line. So yeah, a lot of interesting things. This is a show based on this long-running, beloved anime based on a manga that also has like hundreds of thousands of issues of comics.
Yeah, it's like wild. It doesn't adhere to any kind of sense. There's like, you don't know why people can do the shit they do. They just do it.
They just do it. You know what though? I really enjoy. It's 8 episodes. I binged through this whole thing. Great world building. As it's better than Cowboy Bebop. It's more like consistent in its world, and they introduce these outlandish pirate characters. So yeah, it's Monkey D. Luffy picking up his crew, going around. There's Marines that hate pirates, and there's a whole code. There's a whole world building, and he has stretchy powers because he ate a dragon fruit, and it gives people different powers. Now, this is kind of a step towards seeing maybe what a Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards could look like in live action. Because it's not bad. Some of it looks cartoony, but some of it kind of works. You could do something like this. He's essentially made out of rubber. So he has got like special, they do the thing where they call out their fight moves before they do them like they do in anime. So it's got all these anime tropes, giant swords, lots of fighting, swordplay, shooting. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. I'm in. I want to see more.
You know what we need at this point is we need that, meme on like YouTube or that GIF where it's like 3 hours later. Because you've got 75 things you want to talk about that you've watched because you've been off for 3 weeks.
Yeah, because I had nothing better to do. Fucking watch shit. I can't talk to anybody.
This is gonna be the longest "What are we watching" ever.
Wait, this one's important. I did watch John Woo's The Killer.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Not the new David Fincher movie. Michael Fassbender is coming out. That trailer was cool. John Woo's Killer is fucking fantastic. We did the hard-boiled review. Again, like you, Anthony, I kind of went backwards, but I could see going from The Killer to hard-boiled. The Killer has got amazing action, but the drama he puts in the action, it is, like you said, Ruggs, it is a lot more melodrama, but I love the drama. I love the relationships. There's a romance in there. It's fucking, this Hong Kong period of John Woo, like A Better Tomorrow, Bullet in the Head, Killer, hard-boiled. I need to watch all these movies. They're fucking.
You do. They're so great.
They're fantastic. So good. Chow Yun Fat he's got more of a character in this than in Hard Boiled. He's an assassin, trying to get out of the business.
It's also kind of a bromance movie.
Yeah. And then there's the bromance
with the
Mickey
cop.
Mouse.
And I was like, that, and more than Hard Boiled, this is like John Woo invented gun fu. Like it made me go watch a bunch of videos with his interviews, and essentially he took like Hong Kong movies and then karate martial arts movies, just replaced the swords with guns, and has the same kind of dynamic shit. Like he created this gun fu fucking. Nobody's seen shit like this. It's weird to see it now, thinking nobody had seen anybody do gunplay like this.
Yeah, there's always got to be some originator, someone who either sees it somewhere else and go, well, I'm going to do this on another level. And really, I'm sure that there's been, if you go back, you probably find someone jumping in the air with 2 guns in another movie.
Yeah, sure.
Something like that. But he's the one who decided to kind of take it to this level.
Yeah.
Well,
you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves a lot of credit. Like, you see John Woo shit everywhere now.
Hey, man, there's a reason why he directed the best action movie of all time, Hard Target.
Yeah, he does the Hard Target. And his career is interesting. He changed kind of what he was doing later on and went back to it. So, fucking A, like, that John Woo, Hong Kong John Woo is fucking, he's a great.
Now, do you think that Chow Yun Fat could pull off that mullet? Do you think that would have probably made me love all the other movies better?
No.
That's only Van Damme. Only Van Damme does. Okay, wait, couple more. I saw The Equalizer 2 because 3's coming out, and I watched the first one. 2 is almost a little bit better than the first one.
I need to watch 2 because at the end of the show, we're going to off-air debate what we're doing next week. So
okay,
Equalizer 3 might be in the running.
Oh yeah, we could go because like this is you get more backstory on Robert McCall, and this is a great action franchise for Denzel at this age. He's quiet, he's reserved, but he's fucking murderous. You know, they do that thing where he can see everything in a room and he knows what he's going to do in how many seconds, and he's got OCD and everything's got to be perfect, but then he'll just fucking murder a motherfucker like nobody's business. I really liked it too, and I kind of want to see 3 now. Pedro Pascal is in 2. He's very good.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's on, I believe it's on HBO Max or Peacock. It's on one of those. It is available.
Okay.
Yeah, you can watch it. And 3, I heard, is also like just same shit, same good shit. And 2, they give him more stakes. You learn more about him. It's really good. I did want to mention some Star Trek shit because Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I finished season 2. This is such a fucking great Star Trek show, dude. This season, they were playing with different genres. There was like a horror aliens version in one episode. They do courtroom drama in another episode. They do an animated crossover with Lower Decks. They do a musical episode in another episode. And then they end with this killer fucking action episode. It's so good. I love Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It got me into watching that cartoon Lower Decks. So I watched all 3 seasons of Star Wars Lower Decks because they did a crossover. This is also a fantastic show. It's so good. I love Boimler and Mariner and Rutherford and all these characters. Tendi, like you get to know these characters. They have growth. Great storylines.
Now, do you like it more than the Seth Green, whatever his name?
Oh, so Orville, the last
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane's Orville changed the second season he put out by himself when it was on Fox. It was a half-hour comedy. It was okay. The second season, like, it's not a comedy anymore. They're hour-long episodes, and they're just straight-up Star Trek series episodes. Like, he totally changed his show. So
which is better?
Between which? Between
the Star Trek show or his show?
They're both good for different reasons. I like both of them. Strange New Worlds is fantastic because they're bringing in a lot of the crew from the Enterprise that you're going to meet. But Orville just did solid, like, space exploration shit. They're both good. Okay. But then the comedy that Lower Decks brings, this really quick-witted jokes, is really good. Great voice cast. And then the last thing is I finished that show on MGM Plus, the Lost lookalike where the people are trapped in a town. And Ruggs, you told me you had a theory. I watched the whole thing, and they were jerking me around. They were introducing new people. But then the last episode of season 2, they do a thing that made me go, fuck. I gotta watch the next episode. I gotta watch season 3. They do a big thing that actually moves the fucking thing forward, finally. The last episode of the second season. So I think it's a little bit better than Lost. It's a little more thought out. But fun show. Anyways, that's it.
Still not gonna watch it, but I'm glad that you stuck with it.
I watched other things. I'm not gonna discuss them. I don't remember. It's episode 500. Thanks. My voice kind of made it.
Kind of. You were going strong at the end.
So this is okay. That's good. I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
You fuckers.
He's back. For better or worse, the man is back.
I appreciate everybody's patience. Hopefully we made you wait. Makes it even nicer.
Makes the heart grow fonder, they say. That little thing
absence.
called absence.
Sometimes you got to take something away.
Or absinthe.
Absinthe makes you trip a little bit. It's very good. That's it for this week, Ruggs. Where can the listener find you?
They can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy.
Wow, now your voice sounds strange, Ruggs. Yes, you can find him on X. All those links are in the episode description. Follow us too. Most important thing, share this show. Keep it going. Spread it around. We're going to give you 500 more, listener. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I'm back to taking a piss. What did I miss?
Nothing.
Oh. Happy
funny.
500. Hey, fuck you.
500.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Jock and Nerd.